It's 1993, and these Game Boy loving freaks are about to get mega haunted.
Hey everybody, welcome to You Can't Scare Me. Today we've got ourselves a Mario.
Hi, it's me, it's Mario. I'm the cool ghoul who's everybody's pal.
We've got ourselves a Brandon.
I'm here.
And special guest, we've got ourselves a Geop. And Geop, before you introduce yourself, I want you to do so, but with your best Skeletor impression.
Greetings, it is I, Skeletor!
Hi. Holy shit.
Jesus
Incredible.
Christ. Oh wow. My God.
The verve. Incredible.
I forgot about the Skeletor thing until you just said that. And I was like, well, fuck, here we go.
Oh my God. That was incredible. Jesus. Really, really well done.
You got it on lock.
Yeah, seriously. Had that set.
He's got it on rock. Get it?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. Geop's into rocks, I hear.
I can't believe you have the stones to say that.
Body and soul.
All righty. With that, well, hold on, real quick. Sidebar. Geop, give us a Krang.
That's about all I remember.
That's pretty solid, though.
Nailed it.
That's like...
I can't remember how he talks, but I very distinctly remember how he would yell Shredder.
Yeah.
You've got the warble. You had the warble in there, which is what matters. That's the critical element.
I don't practice this stuff in the mirror or anything like that. Full disclosure. It's just a few specific voices that are somehow wedged in my memory.
None of us do that. Definitely none of us practice the Krang in the mirror.
No,
Sure.
It's not like we spent like a large chunk of the last episode, like, you know, trying to nail, hone in a Krang and a Skeletor. No, that'd just be silly.
That would be quite goofy.
It would be goofy as hell. Everybody, welcome. We are going to talk about Goosebumps by Jovial Bob R.L. Stein. Today, we are talking about episode 10, book number 10. We're 10 years old, y'all. We did it. We made it to the big 1-0.
That's awesome.
It's all downhill from here.
We did it. Congratulations, us.
And guess what? Guess what book we did, guys? The Ghost Next Door. Now, if for me, this one, there are a lot of Goosebumps books that we've done so far that have kind of gone under my radar. They don't register to me, and this is definitely one of those. I remember the cover of the book pretty like strongly, but I don't remember anything about the book, much like I didn't remember anything about The Curse of the Mummy's Tomb or Let's Get Invisible. But I have to say, right out the gate, pleasantly surprised. Really actually enjoyed The Ghost Next Door. And we'll get to how much I enjoyed it later on.
I was also pleasantly surprised and also did not remember any of this, minus the fact that I believe it was brought up last time that The Ghost Next Door plays some pivotal role in the movie of Goosebumps.
It does. We will talk about that. Either in this episode or in an episode that we do on the movie, which stick around, you know,
its own exciting
in 52 episodes we'll get so in like I don't know 10
in 20 years.
Perfect. Brandon, do you have any initial thoughts that you want to share about The Ghost Next Door?
Yes, I was also pleasantly surprised by it. I also remembered the cover and didn't remember anything about the story. I think this one is really solid, especially coming off of Camp Nightmare. And I'm happy to talk about it.
Yes, a delicious hamburger with all the trimmings is just scrumptious right next to a steaming pile of shit.
I would describe the glowing review for Goosebumps: The Ghost Next Door, a delicious hamburger of a book.
Absolutely. Geop, what is your history with Goosebumps?
History.
I've never read one.
Gasp.
This is where you add like a sting in post-production, maybe. Bum,
Yes.
bum, bum.
That too.
Bum, 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 bum.
There it is.
When I ask the question, I'll put in the horror, like the sort of ghost hunter, like creepy music to set it up. Yeah, perfect. Nailed it.
Or the dinosaur man roar from the man roar at the beginning of Aerial Monsters.
Oh,
You should whatever the sting is for like when the Shadow Man shows up in an episode of this 2-part episode. You could do that.
Absolutely. Brandon, you got me thinking. More titles for things should have screams in them. I want more like titles of books where it's just and then like
surely there's a Goosebumps book that is that.
I want screams. I want wet t-shirt competitions.
Like don't go to sleep. Perfect.
Yeah, that would be a good one. Although Don't Go to Sleep, that is a Goosebumps book.
That's what I'm saying. The more Goosebumps
you want to
books
add it
should
too.
have. Yeah.
The Ghost Next Door.
Or the Cuckoo Clock of Doom. It's even better.
No.
Oh no. Yes. Are there any Goosebumps books with oh no in them?
Oh no. Yeah, that's
No, there aren't. Oh man.
Oops, all Goosebumps. Oh no.
Perfect. That entire thing. Yes, absolutely nailed it. All right. And as is tradition, and we are all about tradition here on You Can't Scare Me, or as the kids call it, YCSM. We've got ourselves a Mario who is just infatuated with events that have happened not currently, but previously. So previously on Human History,
right.
We've got Mario's history lesson.
Right. So currently on Human History, we're going to be talking about what happened previously in Human History, but strictly as it applies to movies, TV, and video games, the only subjects that matter in history.
I'm nodding very fervently, ferociously.
Now, as we've talked about before, we have entered the part of Goosebumps where R.L. Stine was cranking one of these out every month. So we only, mercifully for me, have to talk about August 1993, a great month, and I'll tell you why right now. In the theater, you could watch The Fugitive, Harrison Ford, Tommy Lee Jones, jumping down that big old waterfall.
Still haven't seen it.
Oh my God!
Where Tommy Lee Jones infamously says, "I don't care."
I didn't kill my wife. I don't care.
I don't care. Classic. A classic Tommy Lee Jones film, because I don't think he does care.
No.
Now, this is a special film to me. Hard Target. John Woo, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Lance Hendrickson, Wilford Brimley. An action vehicle for the century. Brandon and I watched this film literally last week. It's one of the dumbest movies I've ever watched in my entire life. And I mean that in a positive way. But also, I'd like to note of it that in it, Jean-Claude Van Damme insists on calling this 35-year-old woman's missing father her daddy. And so he keeps saying, "We're gonna find your daddy."
Know something about my father, obviously. Look, if you don't want to go back up there, I'll just go back myself.
Hey, if you want to find your daddy, you're gonna have to work smarter. Your daddy didn't die in the fire.
Jean-Claude Van Damme is truly terrible in this movie.
Awful.
Wilford Brimley is doing a Creole accent.
Yeah, how's Wilford Brimley's accent better than Jean-Claude Van Damme's, you might wonder? Well, it is. Also, if you want to watch Wilford Brimley murder some people with a bow and arrow, Hard Target.
Beautiful.
Also in theaters, Surf Ninjas.
Amazing movie.
Starring
Yes.
Leslie Nielsen.
Yes.
I wonder what that movie's about.
It's about moto surfing. Leslie Nielsen plays like a cyborg dictator.
The Game Gear stars as itself.
Yes, I believe that's true.
Is that an IMDb credit?
It's got Pauly Shore in it, so you know it's good. Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday. It wasn't The Final Friday.
Asterisk, it wasn't, yeah.
Never got into the Freddy movies.
That's okay. Honestly,
Okay.
that's okay.
Sure. Okay.
The only way to get into them, honestly, was, in my experience, was catching them on USA anytime there was a Friday the
Yes.
13th. They would show them edited the heck, because there was nothing offensive in them by that point. But
Yes.
that was how I caught all of them, honestly.
That's the correct way to watch them, I think.
Definitely switched out bitch for witch, didn't he?
Oh, they gotta, right?
Absolutely.
You've gotta, I think you can only engage with the Friday the 13th film series passively. I don't think you can actively engage with it.
Yeah, it just arrives on TV or something.
Yes.
You don't go out with the mindset of, I'm going to go rent Jason Goes to Hell, or I'm going to write Jason X. It's like, no, it just happens to come on. And it's like, well, I just sat down. The remote's on the other side of the room. Guess I'm watching this, right?
Right, and it's like the person writing it wasn't like, I'm going to write Jason X. It's more like he sat down and began moving his hands, and then when he looked up, he was like, oh, I've written Jason X, and that's and then this movie came out.
And then he said, oops.
It's also how it was made. Everyone showed up to make like a Julia Roberts vehicle, and then they walked out and they were like, shit, we made Jason X today.
I love the idea that any shitty movie, it was just produced in a fugue state. That's incredible to me. Also, really quick, I was actually talking to Rachel about this the other day. I feel like we don't, like, whenever we watch content online now, it's always stuff that we want to watch and we want to engage with.
Yes.
We don't really have like TV that just exists, like just like shitty afternoon TV that we just leave on.
I think that's YouTube
and we know
now.
it's bad, and we know it's bad for us. Yeah, but with YouTube, you kind of
You're still watching what you want to watch.
yeah,
you're curating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're actively curating yourself. And yeah, for me, it was like, you know, there would be a couple days when I was sick, like watching TV, I just let it go, you know, and it's just like, oh, I guess I'm watching Jerry Springer right now, or Ricky Lake. Or,
Yeah, you're not watching Martin Mystery because it's on Cartoon Network at 6 a.m.
You know what's interesting about that is that for this podcast, I was looking to see if it would be any use to like look at what music came out at that time. And let me tell you, music was like that too, because most of these songs in the top 100, absolutely anonymous, just fall off your brain, like nothing going on. I remembered the time being interesting for music, but maybe just not in the top 100. Lots of really boring stuff.
Yeah.
May I say what's not boring?
What?
On TV, a little show called Power Rangers premiered in August of 1993. Yeah, folks.
My God.
We're talking Jason. We're talking Tommy. We're talking Kimberly. We're talking Billy.
Jason. I was like, Jason's back again.
Jason's back again. Jason's back again. He
Damn it, I
accidentally
wrote about Jason and the Power Rangers.
they
Not
were
again.
filming Power Rangers and they accidentally made another Jason movie.
That was actually the subtitle for Power Rangers. Power Rangers, Jason's back again.
Bryan Cranston is here, but he's not Zordon this time. That's much later in his career.
Damn it.
This time, he's just regular monsters on episodes of the Power Rangers.
Fuck yeah. Oh my God. And can we real quick sidebar? Power Rangers best theme song to a show ever? I think yeah.
Very good. Very good. It's a very good one.
If you haven't listened to the full song, if you've only ever heard the theme song in its like 30-second form, like you are missing out. That the full song is so incredibly well done. It's so good.
There is no other important thing. Oh, wait, I wasn't done. I need to list seven more Power Rangers. We're talking Trini. We're talking Zach. We're talking Billy. There we go. I was like, I don't want to miss anybody.
The gang's all here.
We're also talking Rita Repulsa. We're talking Goldar. We're talking
Goldar.
Squat
My boy.
and Babu. And Finster and also Scorpina occasionally. Anyway, that's the whole cast of the original Power Rangers. The Late Show with Dave Letterman, shockingly, premiered.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Hard to believe that institution was not around earlier, although he was hosting a different show. But anyway, we don't need to talk about late night on this podcast. Everyone remembers Big Wave Dave's, a 6-episode sitcom where Dave and his two friends decide to open up a surf shop in Hawaii following his divorce. So yeah, that's a classic. That's literally it for TV. But I've got great news about games. The top-selling games of August 1993 on the SNES. It's Street Fighter 2 Turbo.
Of course.
Heck yes. On the Game Boy, it's Link's Awakening. Hell yes. On the NES and the Genesis, it's Jurassic Park.
Oh, I played. Yep, that was me. I was playing that one. Yeah.
Oh, all right. And on the Sega CD, why, it's Final Fight CD.
Ooh.
Now, I had SF2 Turbo on the SNES. I was one of those people participating in this sale.
Oh yeah, I was too. many arguments with my brothers about who won and who lost a fight. Lot of cheesing with projectiles when we didn't know how to do the inputs, so we were just like randomly smashing the controllers. It was only until like a year later when I realized like, oh, you've got to do certain combinations of keys to input the thing that makes the fireball come out. It's crazy.
Bob, it would be a solid 10 years before I learned to actually do those.
Incredible. Hate the AI and never let us win.
Yes, it was bad. Anyway, that's all that happened in history.
Hooray!
Close the books and put them back on the shelf. But also get out the Goosebumps books because we're doing that. So shut up.
Shut the hell up. It's time to talk about a wonderful Goosebumps cover that we've already referenced. Hey, Brandon.
Yes.
You've done an incredible job compiling a zip file on all of the covers that we're about to discuss. And let's go ahead and try to fly through this where we kind of describe these covers.
Oh, I'll just go ahead and let you know that Brandon's already written down descriptions of them.
What? Are you shitting me? I'm going to stop talking then.
Let's get a viz.
Oh, shit.
The classic.
Is that going to be
Okay, so
Wait, stop. Are we calling this segment Let's Get a Viz?
Let's get a viz by Brandon. Yes.
Let's get vizzed. Okay, so we're going to start with the primary US cover. So this is the classic Goosebumps two-tone border here is configured with a yellowish tan secondary color for the background and snot green for the primary color and letters. It's Boogerman colors this time, folks.
It is Boogerman colors.
Absolutely.
The image in the center depicts ghostly semi-translucent sneakers standing on a welcome mat in front of a partially open front door. The shot is from the perspective of the ghost on the mat, looking down at their transparent feet, and the shot is warped with fisheye perspective. To the left and right of the stoop, it is fringed by bushes. Inside the partially open front door, we can see the leg of a child also be sneakered and not translucent. A black and white checkered floor is visible inside. The lighting is well given. Half of the visible features are in cool blue shadows, and the other half bathed in warm orange light from inside the house. The ghost feet and legs on the mat have a nice, wispy white smoke look to them. It's a good cover, and it was used a lot.
It is a good cover. I like the... we'll get into this with the classic cover, which is bad. Just spoilers. I mean, sorry, not to get ahead of us, but like, I call this a subtle cover. This is you know what I mean?
It's what's on the tin, right? There's the ghost. He's at a door.
I love the translucent feet over the welcome mat. I think that's just great.
Wanted to really quickly note that the other languages actually take the welcome off the welcome mat and replace it with whatever language it's being the book is in. Replaces it with
that's
that.
Smart.
Yeah,
that's the kind of quality you get from Goosebumps.
Yeah, attention to detail.
I did not notice that.
Yes, that's actually one of the little tidbits on the Goosebumps Wikia. Hey, Geop. You know nothing about Goosebumps before this.
They were kind of hitting their full stride when I was just north of the age group they were aimed at. But I remember a number of folks.
You weren't 12?
No, I mean, I think I was about 12. I think when they started coming out, but it was like I remember a bunch of classmates were renting them out of the library. Mm-hmm. And I just remember there were some folks who only checked out Goosebumps, and I was never interested in them. And I just kind of it doesn't have good stuff like the Scary Stories covers or anything like that. They were so
now
cool.
I'll grant you, yes.
Nothing. Let's be clear. Nothing compares to Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Compares.
Yeah, that's like that's like glued to my memory.
Yeah, absolutely. Much like for me, the Fat Cat 3-pack for Garfield is glued to my memory.
Of course.
Yes.
Or Garfield's 9 Lives. Who could forget?
Or
Garfield's
classic. Nightmares.
Yep, absolutely. Yep.
We have some connoisseurs in our midst.
Or let's be real, Garfield's Pet Force is very important to me.
Pet Force.
Pet Force.
Is that the one where he's built like a superhero?
Yes, it is.
Oh, that's
He's
right.
built like a Mack truck in that. He's all caked up.
Rob Liefeld's Garfield.
All that carb loading went to all the right places. Wow.
Exactly. Nailed it.
I love looking at Garfield's throbbing.
Okay, I'm just going to edit that part out. Where I love looking at Garfield's throbbing and then beep. So
Why
let's all
didn't we
pretend
ever
like
get-
he just said that and go, Mario, what the fuck?
Why didn't we ever get a Todd McFarlane Spawn-style Garfield?
Oh my
That would
god.
be incredible. Oh my god.
How did they not do that for Pet Force? They should have. Oh,
I would have liked a Liefeld style Garfield, like but the Captain America pose.
Yeah.
Yes.
With his chest sticking out 2 miles.
Yes. The completely fucked perspective.
They took the side profile of Schwarzenegger flexing at his peak, and they're just like, he just stands like this normally, right?
His muscles are just constantly throbbing and in pain.
this is what Garfield should look like, says Rob Levy. This is
I'm
what that fat
imagining,
cat should look like.
I'm imagining a superhero style bulked up Garfield, but he still has that weird little box that he uses for a bed. Gigantic dude
Okay,
walking over with a
okay.
big, gigantic box just
And it's
covering up.
Okay.
It's just like smashed from.
In this universe, is John normal sized or is John like?
Yes.
John's normal. John's definitely normal.
John is.
Oh my god!
That's the trick. Like in every alternate universe for the
John's
Garfield,
always John.
the Garfield
Yeah.
cinematic universe. There's the GCU.
John's the tether. I see.
Yeah, John. Absolutely.
John's the tether. Now I'll give. Here's what's messed up. John's girlfriend, the vet, in the Pet Force universe, is also a Liefeld character.
Oh,
So
and
like,
that's
so
the other-
like, figure that one out. Like,
The other thing is that always in every single universe, John drinks cum.
that's also yes. You do have to know that. You do have to know that he will at some point drink the cum. Yes.
Also, John's girlfriend is named Liz. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, but I forget her name in Pet Force.
It's
something vet
Lyman
related.
in Pet Force. Is Lyman in Pet
Lyman
Force.
is not in Pet Force.
He's still dead in John's basement.
That's an ongoing mystery that Bob and I have been poking at since Dead Space.
Everyone wants to
Yeah.
know what happened to Lyman. And you know what? I think Jim Davis is doing a disservice to his country by not telling us.
He came back for like a brief cameo, and I read about it, and it was very much something like, "Look, Lyman's okay. He's right here."
He came out of the basement.
No, you can't touch him. Go away. Okay, Lyman's leaving on a road trip. Bye, Lyman.
Lyman died on the way back to his home planet. Liz's name in. Hold on. There's what? I'm looking at the Garfield's Pet Force. I'm looking at the female villains wiki.
What?
Wait,
Okay.
What?
The female villains wiki. Yep. There's one for that.
Huh.
The Liz's name in Pet Force was Vetvix, as in
Okay.
veterinary vixen. I presume it's that's short form. But it also says here, voiced by Emma Thompson in Jimmy Neutron 2 G-Force.
Huh?
Why was she in what? What?
That's a something burger.
Yeah, I'm trying to wrap my head around this. What the hell happened in Jimmy Neutron 2?
I don't know. I'm unfamiliar with the Jimmy Neutron-averse, so
Yeah, Pet Force spin off the Garfield and the second Jimmy Neutron film. What the fuck happened in Jimmy Neutron 2? This is a digression. Let's talk about the classic cover.
yes.
Okay. The classic cover is, as
like shit.
said before,
Ass.
not very good. Depicts a ghostly hand reaching for a door knocker that looks like the Haunted Mask. The ghost hand emits a pissy yellow light, which is reflected in the knocker. It's a big downgrade from the original.
It honestly, it looks like what happens when you don't wash your hands in the bathroom and then you go to open the door. Yeah,
It looks like a person who's trepidatiously approaching a haunted house that they know the person ahead of them did not hygienically touch. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
It's like, oh, this doorknob's going to be gross. It's going to be so gross. It's going to be sticky and weird.
I just want to point out that Brandon Norman, I believe the person who, I know his last name is Dorman because that's stuck in my head because it's a door. Get it?
Man.
There's just, for Dorman's covers, there's just a focus on weird things or things that don't matter in the books.
Yeah.
There's nothing about a door knocker.
Nope.
Like, not a single thing.
It doesn't make any sense at all. Also, why is the ghost touching the spooky door knocker? The ghost is next door.
Right.
Like, that doesn't make any fucking sense.
So is the person with the spooky door knocker the person who's not is the ghost returning home? I am confused.
Explain it. Explain to me what you thought this means.
I am confusion. Dorman, explain.
The worst part about it is that 20% of the front page is covered with the haunted mask.
Yes,
And
yes.
Yes.
It's just confusing.
You can't even really see the hand.
Yeah, the hand is covered by the text.
There's also a giant sticker for Goosebumps, now a frightful new film.
Yes.
Now with Dante from Devil May Cry.
Now featuring Dante from Devil May
Dude,
Cry series.
this would be an amazing book for a Dante guest appearance. This would
my
be
God.
incredible.
You know
I
what?
would love that.
You could kind of make that your own fan fiction, honestly. You can kind of keep that to yourself. Yeah.
This party's just getting started. This party's getting crazy.
It's a kid's book. There's pizza. Kids love pizza. Dante loves pizza.
Dante does love pizza, canonically.
Yeah, you got chocolate my peanut butter. Yeah, it's all working out. See? Here you go, R.L. Stein.
Hannah has to go back to the spirit world, and Dante shouts, I should have been the one to fill your dark soul with light.
Light!
Should have been the one to fill your dark soul with light.
I don't know about y'all, but every time a certain antagonist gives chase in this book, I always the DMC1 combat music plays in my head. So
Interesting.
that was just it's very interesting that you mentioned that, Mario.
I think the siren music works pretty nicely too. That's what my brain always goes back to when I think of the music from that game.
Oh man, I want to do air juggles with fucking pistols again. Shit. Anyway,
That's not in Siren. You can't do that in Siren. Siren now featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry game. Juggling villagers with pistols. Brandon, what's the next
I'm sorry.
cover you want to talk about?
I was just stumbling over the track name. There's like a special, what is it, in Devil May Cry 1? There's a special boss enemy you'd fight. And there's like this
I
track
thought you meant
that's-
Siren Blood Curse.
Oh no. You're juggling. You're doing something weird, man. I mean, unless there's like a villager who's very easily impressed.
yeah, Mario, you made me feel like I was fucking up, and it was you. Huh.
Well,
That's how the tables have
I'm
turned.
sorry. Listen. I was enjoying the visual imagery that you were. It was
Yes.
It was playing well in the fields of my mind. Let's put it that way.
I don't know all the characters in Siren, but I'm in general, anyone being air juggled by pistols is just entertaining. Like it makes me laugh. My inner child is having a good time.
they're basically immortal anyways. They can handle it.
Yeah, you can
Yeah,
just do
that's
whatever you
fine.
want to. This guy, listen, come in this village. You can do whatever you want.
Can you imagine sight jacking one when it's juggling?
I was literally thinking, yes, I was thinking
Oh,
the
this is
exact
weird.
same-
No, I ain't
Geop,
doing this again.
we are mind melded. Yeah, I'm sight jacked into you, Geop.
Whee!
No,
I see everything.
It's the Garfield through line. This is how we're tethered
You're
here.
connected. You're tethered by Garfield.
Exactly.
I'm looking through Geop's vision. What is this panini? This fucked up weird panini.
That's how they were making. That's how you gotta crisp up the exterior. Don't judge me.
Of the Garfield, crisp up
Garfield
your
does kinda
Garfield's
look like
exterior. He does look like he's been panini'd, actually.
He does have those grill marks.
As a matter of fact, yes, he does. Those are
We're
those are
getting
flavor
so
marks.
fucking
Brandon,
off
what's the next
tangent.
cover you want to talk about?
The Garfield Maillard reaction. Yeah.
Pick a cover. Let's talk about it.
Brandon just left. Brandon was just like, I'm-
No. The little box that he sleeps in is the panini press.
oh man, now I want to eat Garfield shit.
Damn.
Now I want to
I've
eat-
got this problem with my brain.
Man,
struggle
now I
with
want
this
to
for
eat
the rest of the
Garfield
day.
shit. Now I want to eat Garfield
No,
shit.
that is shit. No, oh man.
Lasagna panini. All right. British cover. On the British cover.
It's very cummy, I have a feeling, if I had to guess.
Yeah, it's pretty cummy. The Goosebumps letters are goopy black with a thin red border with shiny red highlights. The background is white, and in the center, a child is on fire with their hands extending out in front. The expression on the child does not really suit the occasion, as they appear more indignant than burning alive. The Swedish cover.
It
Go
looks
ahead.
like she's using her fire starter powers to keep the cum away.
And
That's
wait a minute.
all I'll say.
Is this supposed to be the main character from The Ghost Next Door? Is it,
Yeah,
or is this supposed to be
I presume, or
Okay.
or are you saying it's who?
Billy?
I assume it's Hannah, but it could be
I can't really tell from here. I mean, I think it's supposed to be Hannah,
Or
but
Danny. Yeah, not Billy. Oh, what the fuck?
The way they draw the features on the face, she looks older though. Honestly,
She does look older. Again, though, I just want to point out you can't pick this color for the goo.
No.
The goo is a bad color.
I don't understand how the British keep fucking this up. Like, I just... What is
If it's not the goo, it's the text. If it's not the text, it's the goo. Listen, stop putting cum on your book covers. You have to stop.
someone thought wrongly what's kind of like smoke. No, it's goo. It's the gooeyest. It's white goo. It's completely not okay. The whole thing is cum. It's cum.
They keep making the same mistake. I just don't... whatever. Anyway.
You just got to think there's got to be a guy that's like a goo expert. Like, hey guys, we got a goo guy to come in. He's going to give us some advice on what to do with the goo. It's Goosebumps.
This is his thing.
And he's like, well, number one rule, you can't use white. Just can't do it. Sorry. I'm sorry. Like,
well, I'm a contrarian.
and then Elon Musk walks in and he's like, I think we'll use white today. It'll look great. We fired the goo guy because he wasn't necessary. Here's our cover.
Goo gone.
goodbye.
Goodbye.
Funny enough, Musk's last name is an anagram for cums. Anyway.
So the Swedish cover appears to be a zoomed-in shot of the British
one
cover.
Is that? Which one? Oh, the one
purple
down here.
border one. Sorry, I posted two more.
The Gengangaren.
It's actually Giengongura.
Oh.
But it's spelled Gengangaren if you're pronouncing it like an English person would.
Gengargagungan. Yes.
It simply means ghosts, and maybe this is the origin of the naming scheme for Gengar.
I think no, Gengar is a reference to doppelganger, I believe.
Oh,
Maybe,
yeah, I remember reading that, yeah.
But maybe the same root or something.
It might be the
anyway,
same root word, yeah.
The Swedish cover appears to be a zoomed-in shot of the British cover. The burning but nonplussed child is still in the center, bordered by a white line meant to look like it's torn its way out of the cover. The backdrop is flat purple.
It's bad cover.
Moving on to the...
Worse, even.
Yeah, it's not good, but at least it's got less cum. They covered it up. The Swedes, they knew.
The Swedes knew.
The Japanese cover depicts a front shot of a doorway of a burning house. The house appears to be made only of wooden planks, all other features having burned away. Through the doorway, we see the shadowy figure of a boy with red eyes.
Of Kame from Drakengard. We see Kame from Drakengard in this.
He's a boy with red eyes and unkempt hair. This is, as we will hear, the shadow that stalks Hannah. The Japanese artist has chosen to depict the most anime part of the story and put it on the cover. The cover is also a nice composition.
I like it.
I like this, even though that's Drakengard for sure, though.
Absolutely. Japan, pretty consistent with their covers. They're all pretty damn good. But weirdly enough, I don't think this is the best of the bunch.
I agree.
The Korean cover next.
Yes.
That's the one. That's the one.
So good.
Depicts the shadow in a 3/4 view. Ghostly hands raised like claws to its sides. Its face is partially pulled off, revealing a head underneath that looks a bit like Emil from Nier with red eyes.
Literally, yeah.
Man, it sure is a Yoko Taro kind of day going on. Like
One of them dang neighbor yokais.
Yokai Next Door.
I know it's Korean, but still.
the yokai next door. That is the Japanese one.
Tonari to Yokai. Yeah.
Yes, Tonari. Yes.
Oh, actually, is it? Oh, no.
No, it's not. It's
Tonari ni Iru no wa.
Yeah.
Dare. Oh, Who's Next Door? Yeah.
Who's next door? Yeah.
Also note, the Koreans had the sense to fucking make the goo at the top and the Goosebumps gray and not white.
Yep. They got it right.
Thank you.
They got it right.
The figure here is in the background. A house burns in pastel orange against a blue-black sky. Everyone likes this one. You got two ghost faces. The ghost face getting pulled off of his face and the Emil face. It's all good. Everyone likes this cover, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Two ghosts for the price of one. It's good.
Good shit.
That's great value.
It's great value for money. And the Indonesian one is next. The cover for Tetangga Hantu has a white lumpy 3D lettering, and it is big-time cum font.
Yes, it is.
On the,
Extreme.
It's unmistakably cum. The image on the cover shows a fence and grass in front of a house. Taking up most of the image is the fence and grass. A spooky jack-o'-lantern face is on the side of the fence, and wisps of what is probably supposed to be smoke rise out from the eyes.
That's fart gas. That's definitely fart gas.
It's
Gotta
poo
be fart
gas. That's poo gas for sure.
Yeah, that ain't smoke. That ain't smoke gas. No.
No.
Someone shit themselves on the opposite
No,
side of that.
listen,
fence.
kids, know your gas. All right, that's fart gas.
I'm tripping over the word salad of smoke gas.
Yes.
So there's 2 Dutch covers.
Oh my god! Looking at the great tagline.
Yeah.
Message in die hoofdrol.
So the title for Kippenbel is Het spookt bij de buren, which it haunts the neighbors. And the tagline is Met jou in de hoofdrol, which means with you in the main role, or starring you.
That doesn't even make sense. That's not true at all.
No, unless it's meant to be a hint at the twist. But the Danish cover depicts 2 kids, definitely Alan and Fred from the story, looking a little bit like their TV counterparts, or at least one of them does.
I think one of them's Hannah.
Yeah, I think one of them.
I think it's Hannah and Danny.
Oh dear. Well,
that's Hannah and Danny.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. They look much older than they are supposed to be in the book.
Also, the book goes out of its way, which is kind of why I thought the English cover was Danny. To say that Danny is a redhead.
I was trying to recall if that was the case or not.
Yep.
Also, Danny in this cover looks like he's extremely annoyed by the ghost that's behind him.
Yeah, this ghost is trying to hover hand both of them.
Yeah,
and his hand is like, fuck off, ghost.
But also, the shirt on Hannah, can we take a moment and look at how oversized
it is?
That is?
Quite oversized.
maybe this was stylish back then, but man, she's absolutely swimming in that.
Extreme, you'll grow into it energy.
That's like her dad's button down.
Yeah,
That she's wearing as her 3rd layer. She's got a polo.
It's really cold. It's really cold over there.
I guess.
Oh,
They're both wearing 3 layers.
No, what's up with his sleeve? He's got a long sleeve, but you can see on his right arm, that's a short sleeve.
Is this AI generated? Is this an AI generated?
Look at the hands.
This is an AI image.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Hannah has 6 fingers. Yep, it's AI.
So the 2 kids are in the foreground. There is a big skeletal white ghost behind them, wrapping his arms around their shoulders. They stand on grass in front of a row of houses shown in 3/4 view. It is sunset. The orange glow of the sinking orb of days illumines the area in warm light. Lights are on in the windows of the houses. This is a nice cover.
Orb of days.
Yeah, extreme. What was the name of the boys? The brothers. Oh, what was
the boys? What do detective work?
Yeah,
Hardy Boys.
Hardy Boys.
Hardy Boys. Extreme Hardy Boys energy.
The boys what do detective work. That's what they call them.
Yeah, I mean, that was a better title. You just have to add a scream into it.
The boys that do detective work.
Nailed it. Perfect.
Oops, the boys that do detective work.
Shit. Boys do detective work.
Yes.
Oh, shit. Boy detectives.
There is an alternate Dutch cover, which is not quite as engaging, depicting a spooky house against a blue sky with a humanoid white ghost shape rising in front. It is not as engaging as the other version.
I like the ghost shape, but I don't like the house.
Yeah. Also, why did they do 2?
I don't know.
Maybe it was because the initial version had that line about you are the character. Maybe they confused. Maybe they thought that this book was one of the
Choose Your Own Adventure.
Yeah,
one?
Choose Your CYOA books. I don't know.
That's a curious little. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see anything about that on the wiki.
I didn't see. Yeah,
but
it does not mention that at all. No.
Yeah. So the French version it rules. The French cover is a giallo-looking affair. We see a view of a window on a house, tattered orange curtains billow out towards the viewer. The pitch black void within shows large floating red eyes.
That one's good. Cover. That's good. I'm into that.
I love the way that it plays with the negative space of the tear in the fabric of the curtain. That if you look at the negative of it, it's absolutely fire. It's a flame like coming out of it. It's neat. It looks good.
This cover is fire.
I see what you did there.
Oh my god, this shirt.
Yeah, this is not a cover. I just wanted to talk about that when the ghost next door is depicted in media, it's this amazing image of a young punk with with a hat flying through the air with Goosebumps tennis shoes, which by the way are dope as hell.
It's like if the Invisible Man was a kid and he was in a purple jumpsuit.
Yeah,
So parts of him are visible.
Why does he look
and
like
he's jumping?
Why do they look like painter overalls? Like what the fuck?
They do look like painter overalls. Also, I love his angle of movement. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I like the action lines too. Very very informative. Alrighty. Is that it for the covers?
That's it for the covers.
Did we want to talk about these amazing Topps trading cards, I believe, that you've included in this zip file? Or
Sure. There were 3 on the wiki that shall not be named that are full illustrations. They look, in my opinion, very good, all of them. The first one is Hannah trying to pick Danny up and her hands face through him. Danny looking a little bit like Archie, and they both have amazing expressions of shock on their face.
almost the exact same copy-pasted expression on both of their faces.
Yes,
It's
this is the
beautiful.
expression that should have been on the British cover rather than, oh wow, I guess I'm burning alive.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Or, oh, well, I guess I'm drowning in cum.
Jesus Christ. Have there been
Yeah.
Triple X Goosebumps parodies? Don't look that up.
Oh,
Never mind. I
God,
didn't say
don't look that
anything.
up.
No,
Don't
no,
look that up.
no,
Please
no,
don't
no,
look that up.
no.
No, thank you.
No.
No, thank you.
I regret saying that immediately.
I retract my joke.
A door best left unopened.
I wonder if R.L. Stein, if he'd wrote those, if he'd have some, what his porn pen name would be for writing those.
R.L. Stone. R.L. Stones.
R.L. Stones is pretty good.
R.L. Stones is not bad. All I can think is R.L. could stand for really long.
Ooh. Really long. I'll leave that out.
This is great. This is a great conversation.
Is this
about
18 plus
a
or
fucking
what?
children's book series.
The next card depicts death on it.
Yeah, it's just straight up death. It's just the grim fucking
That's a
Reaper.
good card. That's pretty dope, actually.
Yeah, it's kind of lame that it's lame in idea only that they would choose the Grim Reaper in place of the Shadow, but it looks great and we all love it. And there's like a Hardy Boys action pose child crouched in front of it. This one rules. I think this is the best one I've seen.
If I had that trading card, I would be quite content.
Oh
Let's
yeah,
put it that way.
that's a keeper. That's the one you don't trade.
Yeah, you'd keep that one. That one's dope.
And the last image here shows Hannah dragging Danny out of a fire, but she has a kind of weirdly placed expression of shock and horror on her face. Like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm moving him.
They have the weird blurriness of an AI image. You know what I mean? Like,
what I guarantee you this is what happened. I guarantee you that the wiki that shall not be named had someone who had the original cards. They scanned them. They weren't high res enough, so they put it into Photoshop and added a up-res filter to it. Which
that would make sense.
in this case, it absolutely looks absolutely dead ringer for the Photoshop oil filter effect.
Yes. Yes.
I will disabuse you of that notion because I did that. It was me.
It was you all along.
Because they were extremely low res.
Okay,
You,
cool.
You trickster.
They look good.
Trickster spirit.
They look pretty bad, but like you can see what's going on with them.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah, you're quite right. You are quite right. Because
the originals are very, very tiny.
They're very tiny, but you can see the difference. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It looks all right. It looks
Absolutely.
all right in real form. Trickster is all I got. I got no other words. I'm blanking on another word for that. Shit?
Little bad boy.
Nasty lad. You nasty lad.
Nasty lad. Yeah, I like that.
Shall we talk about this book?
We shall. So it's time, y'all. It's time to get into the good shit. And we've split this book up 4 ways. And I am taking chapter 1 through 6. So let's go ahead and just jump right into it. Chapter 1. Hannah is a most definitely 12-year-old who just woke up in her bedroom from a dream where she burned to death. Quote, "At least my dreams aren't boring," she says to herself loudly like a maniac, shortly before psychically confirming to herself that she is, in fact, 12 years old. It's the summertime in Greenwood Falls Zone, and for Hannah, the days are melting into each other like skin off the bone of someone burning to death in a house fire.
Ooh, yum.
Quote, "Hey, dream, get lost," she screams at herself again like a maniac. Hannah has a family, most of whom are eating breakfast in the kitchen. They are, in order of least to most annoying, her father, who is absent, her mother, who does not like physical contact, and her twin brothers, Bill and Herb, 2 6-year-olds who were given the names of old men as some kind of cruel joke, which is fine.
I need to say, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I have to say, number one, I'm glad we all snapped to the notion of them having old man names.
Yep.
The other thing, as soon as I put in my imagination a face to these children, I could not shake the visage of like a 5-year-old body, but like just 2 40-year-old man heads on them. These are like trickster gods in the scope of the story.
Geop, I've got great news for you. There is an episode of Goosebumps, the TV show, that has that exact plot.
Oh my god. Sorry, Bob. Continue.
No worries. I'm just trying to. Oh, yeah. Who are the name of the Muppets? Statler and Waldorf. That's who I am.
Yes.
Yeah. Like two
Oh my
just
God.
children bodies, but their faces on them.
I thought of Old Kid from Invader Zim.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh shit. Oh, I haven't thought about Invader Zim in forever. Holy crap. Wow. Blast from the past. All right. Who are given the names of old men as some kind of cruel joke, which is fine because they suck and are terrible. Thankfully, Hannah's family truly do not matter to the plot of this book in the slightest. Hannah flees her garbage home and its garbage inhabitants, and is immediately immediately physically assaulted. I said psychically earlier.
He
and then
said she's immediately psychically assulted by a mind flayer.
And is immediately physically and psychically assaulted for her trouble. Something we'll see happen a lot in this book.
A classic R.L. Stein kid being hit by other kid on bike.
That
only way.
That old chestnut. Old kid.
Old kid.
So something that stuck out to me in this, as somebody who's my eyes are new to the ways of the R.L. Stein, and something that stuck out to me here, particularly in the writing front. Number one is something I'm sure it's been covered a lot. He can't write dialogue for kids.
No, he cannot. No.
The protagonist talks like a clumsy adult and not in an endearing way. It feels very fake. The kids, I'm reading their dialogue and I'm like, I can't picture a 5-year-old saying this.
No.
I feel R.L. Stein was born an old man. R.L. Stein was born an old man.
Yes.
And has only ever known how those kinds of people talk.
I have no doubt that he himself talked like this as a child.
Oh, yes,
and
yes.
no other.
Hello, fellow whippersnappers.
He wrote his own comedy Mad magazine as a child, so you can guess that this is exactly how he talked his whole life.
So the other thing is, this is more of a nitpick, but it's a grammar thing for me. There are a lot of characters in this that inexplicably say the phrase "how come" a lot. And it came up like in this first chapter, it came up like 2 or 3 times. And I know this is me being pedantic, but it's just, that's where I was coming to grips with how the writing and the dialogue flowed. And every time I saw "how come," I'd always just be like nails on a chalkboard to me. But that's me being a little pedantic about grammar.
As we've covered, Goosebumps is absolutely obsessed with cum and puts it in wherever.
I've sussed that out from the discussion earlier.
I would like to note.
Just
I would like to
Goosebumps
note.
lousy with cum.
Lousy with cum. This book is
R.L.
dripping.
Stein, really lousy with cum.
Well, he's always cranking
he's
it,
cranking one out.
Just cranking it all the time. Lousy, yeah.
Oh, this is the horniest Goosebump podcast you'll ever listen to. By God,
R.L. Stein, Jovial Bob. I'm sorry.
he'll never guess in this podcast.
I
ever.
met him. Well, I didn't meet him. I saw him at a convention, and he.
And you looked in his eyes, and he knew what you were going to do with his work.
He immediately saw. This is true. We immediately knew. Like Rachel pointed him out to me because we were at BookCon. I turned. He was sitting in literally right behind us at a. It was a talk by Stephen King's son who had just come out with a book. And it was being turned into I think it was Mr. Mercedes, I think. It was being turned into a show or something.
Well, he did Lock and Key.
Yeah, the one with the car that has like the...
Oh, Nosferatu.
Yeah, Nosferatu.
That one. Nose 402 or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and we were listening to him, and then Rachel's like, "Is that fucking R.L. Stein?" And I immediately, I almost broke my neck turning my head so fast. and he immediately got up and left.
They're going to ask me about the cum.
He just knew. He knew what was going to happen. He knew.
God damn kids.
You should
always talk about fucking cum. God.
He's
You should
writing his
change
new
the name.
his magnum cum laude or something at the moment. Well, not magnum cum laude.
These whipper cummers.
God,
Jesus Christ.
why'd I say
got it.
magnum cum laude? Man, I'm trying to work college cum laude into this somehow.
Yeah. No, you can, Geop, let me make it easy for you. Just say cum.
How come?
There you go.
How come?
Full circle.
How come? Pretty great, guys.
change the name of the podcast to You Can't Me Scare, so the acronym will be YCOMS.
All right. Chapter 2.
Yeah, I'd like to just add, I was briefly very mad that this book began with the fake out, because as you know, my opinion, if you begin your book with a fake out jump scare, then that has only established you as an artist in the world of bullshit. But I'll grant R.L. Stine this. He upturned my expectations on that by actually paying this off, so I'll give him that.
There are things in both the book and the show
in heaven and
that
earth
you don't think that they would pay off based on your history with Goosebumps and the lessons that you've learned.
Honestly, I forgot about the nightmare until we came back to it. Now I'm just kind of like, oh.
Yeah, and then
it is. I did. I in this reading this book did say,
Yeah, it actually functions. It's good.
I was wondering why you wrote in the DM out of nowhere. Oh.
R.L. Stine in this book, in a shocking twist in real life, wrote a book designed around the twist instead of just putting the twist in the last chapter. Pretty wild. We'll get to it.
And there's probably an aspect of this that y'all didn't catch. Upon rereading the first chapter to recap it, I noticed something that we'll get to once we get to the twist, but it's actually kind of killer. Like, there was time spent on setting some of this stuff up.
I think I know what it is.
I
noticed when I reread this book.
You reread it?
But I listened to it and then read it.
Yes,
so that's why I got you. So, but I think I know what you're talking about.
All right.
I was also going to say something, but now it's gone. So let's go.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I forgot it completely, so go ahead.
All right. Chapter 2. Hannah topples to the ground, and it's revealed a boy slammed into her with his bike. After paying homage to this book's sponsor, Dayglow, for the second time so far, the boy is revealed to be Danny Anderson, Hannah's new next-door neighbor, who has seemingly moved in without anyone in her family noticing. Bill and Herb are annoying and distract Hannah for a moment, talking about a Game Boy, and when she turns to talk more to Danny, he has disappeared. Clearly repulsed by Hannah's miserable family.
So this book, Hannah is not a bad main character, and in the world of Goosebumps protagonists, not even close to the dumbest one. But Hannah is constantly, completely fucking flabbergasted.
Yes.
By the notion that a person can leave without her seeing them. Like this is, it's. Every chapter where Danny just like goes into his house and she's looking the other way, she's like, huh?
Hannah thinks the world disappears when she isn't looking or closes her eyes.
But in fact, it's the exact opposite. Whoa. I also think Danny Anderson is the most I am child boy name that R.L. Stine has ever come up with thus far.
Johnny Young Boy.
Yeah,
yes.
I am young man. Here.
He had young man. All right, chapter 3?
Yeah.
Chapter 3. Later that day, Hannah writes a letter to her friend Janie Pace, who is away at summer camp and has forgotten to write Hannah as she'd promised to do all summer. Hannah decides to be extremely passive-aggressive about this and ends her letter with, quote, "I hope you get poison ivy on your butthole," unquote, or something to that effect. She then leaves home and, forgetting her own house has a mailbox, opts instead to wander the neighborhood and get ignored by the locals. After dropping her mail off at the post office, she hears someone close by shout "World Star," followed by a cry of pain.
Okay, so here's something. I know what it was. The Bill and Herb thing. This goes to the letter writing thing. Between the letter writing and the name of Janie Pace being her friend and her brothers being Bill and Herb, which is so weird, I had this notion that Hannah, spoilers, she's the ghost next door. I hate to jump ahead of ourselves here, but I truly thought that they died years ago, like many years ago. But then Bill and Herb were playing a Game Boy, which made me like wonder: do they have Game Boys in heaven? Should that exist? Like, are we in R.L. Stein's afterlife world, which has rules? I mean, R.L. Stein basically has created the Soul Society from Bleach in this, so I have to wonder: are there Game Boys there?
Well, maybe Hannah and her family are from the early '90s, but the actual boy and the story take place today.
Ooh.
Maybe Hannah has an uncle who worked at Nintendo and got access, early access.
Or that,
I think that Santa still goes to heaven. I think he gives some poison heaven.
I'm with Brandon.
Ooh, man,
you think
good.
Bill and Herb are on the good kid list? Hold on a second. Now. I don't want to get political here, but come on.
I have a follow-up. I have a question. A follow-up question to this. What do we think Hannah's Bankai is? That's the joke. There it was.
I don't know what that is.
It's the thing from Bleach.
I haven't read Bleach in like how many years?
God damn it. Listeners, enjoy my joke about Bankais.
I feel like I haven't read Bleach since I was in college. That was a long time ago.
I feel like it's been a little while since Manga Mario reared his head.
Oh my! Manga Mario. Well, I've been in Japan for 2 weeks.
It's true.
You could probably edit that whole part out, right?
I was Manga Mario the whole time. Brandon can attest. I was Mega Mario the whole time.
It's true.
The other thing I was going to say was that Hannah is a lunatic when it comes to writing to her friend Janie.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And also talking to any other children her own age. She comes off as completely fucking unhinged.
I tried to convey that with the "I hope you get poison ivy on your butthole," but
well, you should. I would convey it by saying "I hope you get poison ivy on your butthole," because she capitalizes every other fucking word in this letter.
Truly unhinged.
I got a question, actually. So she's writing letters and sending them off, and they're being sent off.
Yeah,
I guess probably just go to like a address where somebody doesn't live anymore or something like that. Maybe.
You know what? It's a good question because I don't know. It's never really like. Does she successfully drop the letter off at the mailbox?
I don't think so. I think we're getting ahead of ourselves. Brandon, what were you going to say?
Probably.
I presumed that that all of her house not being burned down is a facet of her like ghost imagination. The rules are that she doesn't perceive that she's actually walking around in an old burnt out house. She's basically living in her mind.
Yes.
In the TV show, definitely presumes it operates by Garfield's nightmare rules, where she Garfield in this scenario has imagined everyone around her and the house is dilapidated.
Yes.
Question: could I just refer to her as Garfield from now on?
Yes. In fact, I would prefer it.
She is our Garfield in this scenario.
Oh God! All right, we're getting a little ahead of ourselves.
We'll go to chapter 4.
Y'all can connect the dots. I have a very specific question about some of the rules, the ghost rules in this.
What are the rules?
Less a rule and more of an observation that I find very, very hilarious. But we'll talk about it.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna write a note to myself about that right here, and I'm done.
I'll just lay some groundwork here and say that it's very Kingdom Hearts in a minute.
Yeah.
Before this book is over, it will become Kingdom Hearts.
Yes. Chapter 4. Mr. Chesney is the local mailman and chief piece of shit.
Yeah, he sucks.
His hobbies include throwing rocks at dogs he doesn't like.
Yeah, fuck this guy.
And threatening children with his shotgun, which I believe this part wasn't in the book on tape version, because I don't remember it. But upon rereading this chapter for this recap, there is a big section about how Hannah's like reminiscing about her and her friends playing a. I'm gonna have to say that again because someone.
I heard that.
Sorry,
I heard that.
I'm gonna snooze this for 2 hours. It's a squirrel again. Damn you! There is a squirrel.
He's
and a
trying
cat.
to get in. He wants to record the podcast.
He wants to guest.
They've got hot opinions about the ghost next door.
Next week's guest, a squirrel.
It's funny because the cat is actually orange. Not fat though. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the podcast, the Goosebumps podcast. Yeah, You Can't Scare Me by us. There's
a podcast?
Yeah, have you heard about it? It's called. All right. Yeah, no, it's called Garfield and Garfield plus Goosebumps. Oh no, that's the full title.
It's Garfield's Goosebumps Combinanza.
I mean, we've already got the whole thing with John that comes. So, yeah.
Yes, exactly. That's one of the things we do as a ritual. We just drink a little thing and come. Anyway, I'm done.
Okay.
Fully off the rails. We slipped off the rails because of all the cum on the fucking track. Anyway, fucking
God damn it.
Enough.
Yeah, we got a big old mess on our hands now.
They should call this podcast Come Town.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right. So the
Chesney, he sucks.
The book on tape version leaves this part out, and this part is in the book. It's about Hannah reminiscing about her and her friends going to play a prank on Halloween on Mr. Chesney at his house. And when they go up to, I think we were talking about like spray painting his windows or something, they see him through the window with a shotgun, just ready to fully blast them like off the face of the earth. And then they dejectedly just walk away. The shotgun comes up later
several times
in the book on tape, but I do not remember this part in the book on tape. It was strange.
I don't recall either.
I think they did edit a lot of references out, especially for the modern version of guns in this Goosebumps book and others.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, it's a little fucked up. This dude just points a gun at children all the time, apparently. Like, he just does this.
A loaded, real-ass shotgun. Just threatens kids with it and just points it at kids. Just like full-on piece of shit. Anyway. Hannah finds Mr. Chesney harassing Danny, his friends, and their dog Rusty in the alley behind the post office. Mr. Chesney invokes stand your ground law and the kids leave. As Hannah makes her way home, she's accosted by, and I'm not kidding here, the fucking Bye-Bye Man. Straight up the fucking Bye-Bye Man. Just fully, just all black, wispy, described as wispy. I think they described him with like either a hoodie or like a coat of some sort.
It's a cloaked figure, a dark figure. Yes. Yeah.
I think I'm getting the trench coat from the TV version.
Yeah. He's just dressed in black and slender.
Yes. A slender man, if you will.
A figure dressed in black. And is it there? Could it be? Also, he keeps saying Hannah.
Yes, I refer to that in the next chapter. But yes, it is constantly, and I don't think we've talked about the book on tape much, but the voice actor for the book on tape actually does a really good job.
Yeah.
Like I forget her name. Do you have her name?
I don't have her name.
All right.
I don't have her name.
I'm going to just look it up real quick. I was listening to... And by the way, listeners, if you want to listen to it yourself, I recommend it. This is a really good book. We're getting a little ahead of ourselves, but it's a really good Goosebumps book, and the book on tape version is really solid, and it's available for free. Multiple places. The place where I listened to it was on Spotify. Look up R.L. Stine on Spotify, and then just look through the discography for this book on tape.
It is narrated by Emily Eden.
I think it's Iden, actually.
Emily Iden.
Emily Iden, okay. Who, let's go to IMDb for Emily Iden.
While we're doing that, let me just add, I was really surprised to note R.L. Stine's restraint by not making Chesney fat.
Yes. Yes.
I truly was like, oh, he's going to call this guy fat here in a minute. This guy's going to be definitely another bad, evil, overweight person. Nope, he's just a normal, evil guy. So that's nice.
Yeah.
A nice change of pace, honestly.
Thank you, RL.
Just a rude boy.
Just a rude guy. Also...
Relatively hinged.
Also, I appreciate the work that R.L. Stine does in these first couple chapters to make sure that people in town do not acknowledge Hannah, but that it also does not seem weird. It's a well done setup and payoff.
Yes, there are multiple times, like I kind of breezed past it, but yes, where she's like going around town and she's like saying hi to characters, and then they just sort of neglect her, and she passes it off as like, oh, they're just rude. How rude can you be? This is ridiculous. All right, so Emily Iden. was Shay in Voltron Legendary Defender, and also plays Maz Scara, the Girl Scout in Oddballs, if you know that.
I don't know that.
I will say she did a fantastic job. Only criticism is that she does kids' voices. She does young boys, young girls. She did the twins. She did the mom extremely well. Problem is that she can't, obviously for reasons, she can't do Mr. Chesney justice. Mr. Chesney sounds like every other fucking character, and it's just weird when he needs to sound gravelly and like menacing.
Get away! Go! I warned you! Mr. Chesney snarled. He was a thin, red-faced man, entirely bald, with a bushy brown mustache under his pointed nose. He wore a tight-fitting gray wool suit, despite the summer heat. You don't have the right to hurt my dog, the blonde boy insisted, still cradling the mutt. The dog's stubby tail was wagging furiously now. The dog licked the boy's hand. This is government property, the postmaster replied sharply. I'm warning you. Get away from here. This isn't a hangout for you troublemakers.
Yeah, it's weird. Also, I don't know if y'all picked up on this, but every time she talked her voice for the twins was extremely Rugrats.
Yeah.
The twins from Rugrats.
Phil and Lil. Yeah.
Is that it for chapter 4? We want to move on?
Sure.
Chapter 5. Apparently the Bye-Bye Man isn't fast enough to catch a 12-year-old on a bike. So after whisper shouting her name a few times, he just gives up and fucks off. Hannah then gaslights herself into thinking that it was an optical illusion. Later, at dinner, family bullshit happens that doesn't matter and no one cares. Days later, Hannah finds Danny alone in his backyard, throwing a ball against his house. The two strike up a conversation and it's revealed that they both go to the same school and are in the same grade, but they haven't seen each other there. Huh? What? Hannah tells Danny she saw him and his friends behind the post office, and they commiserate about how much Mr. Chesney sucks. Fuck that guy. Danny accidentally throws his ball onto the roof of his house, prompting him to grab a ladder to get it down. As he retrieves the ball, Hannah freaks herself out about ghosts, and Danny falls off the roof headfirst.
I would like to stress, like, the weirdness of him not knowing her in the school is emphasized by the fact that, like, not only are all of his friends people she doesn't know, but he also doesn't know any of her friends. And it is like, if this were high school, that would be one thing. But in like 8th grade, I don't know. It's like, that's pretty glaring to me. I was like,
Yeah, friend groups are pretty small. Not that
like
many.
you to not even know their names. Like something. Hey, there might be a twist going on in this book. One of these people might be a ghost.
Yeah, there's a lot of
it beggars
stuff.
belief.
It beggars belief. God damn it! What's his name? Richard
Garth Marenghi?
Richard Iowata.
Richard Iowata, yeah. Playing Dean Lerner.
Not putting on an act, putting on the truth.
Yes.
Oh, I need to watch Dark Place again. Fuck.
It's really good.
It's really great. I also was noting around this time that, like, Hannah starts getting, like, starting here, Hannah starts getting, like, weird premonitions about stuff.
Yes.
Like, she gets, like, weird feelings when it comes to Danny. Not, like, feelings, although maybe a little bit. A lot of, like just the uneasy, weird sensations that she doesn't know what to do with. And this book begins to remind me of the film Don't Look Now, which, if you haven't watched it, is a very good Donald Sutherland horror movie. An excellent film about premonitions.
Yeah, it'll become there we go, saying come again. It'll be did you just say yum? Oh, okay.
I was clearing my throat.
Come. It will become more pronounced later on. What was this Discord? Is that what you've been doing this entire time, Brandon?
I've been trying so hard not to laugh.
Okay, that's going on the fucking Twitter. Shit.
I was crying.
I'm surprised.
You fucking rascal.
Brandon, can you do me a quick favor and just change the Goosebumps green color to white, and it's perfect. And you're also, we've got to have someone describe what Brandon just posted in the fucking Discord chat.
That's the picture of John drinking the cum.
Well, there is a green border on this release of the Goosebumps cover. There is a representation of Garfield along with the veterinarian who is named
Liz.
And John is taking a drink from the cup. However, this is prior to the realization of what he's done. Liz tells him, "Let's come." This is the moment before tragedy strikes. Truly, this is the climax of the story.
God damn it.
I'm putting very, very serious music underneath that entire.
Oh yeah, it's probably going to have white text for the Goosebumps. Maybe, I don't know if that's actually going to happen.
In future,
I'm working on it.
The final draft by the master.
Oh, God damn it.
Well, now I have to leave the cum shit in here. Fuck.
Yep.
Cum shit? What?
Not cum shit. Oh my God.
We're not talking about that. We're not talking
Now
about
we're in
that.
hell.
Chapter 6. Goosebumps enters the MCU, and it's revealed Danny's middle name is Daredevil and has survived his headfirst fall off of his roof by tucking and rolling and or being a ghost. Hannah,
It beggars belief.
It beggars belief. Hannah leaves to play Chutes and Ladders with her brothers who insist on cheating because, again, they suck. Later that night, Hannah resolves to spy on Danny to determine exactly how insane she is. She makes her way to their kitchen door and peers through the window. She then gasps in Goosebump cliffhanger.
They're both insane in this chapter because Danny is like, when he fakes his death and lands on his feet from the roof, right? She's freaking out. And the entire time he just begins grinning increasingly widely and like doesn't say anything. Like she's like, "You could have died." And he's just like smiling like a fucking psychopath. Also, Bill and Herb appear in this chapter, an unfortunate return, and they want to play Chutes and Ladders, which is, again, R.L. Stine has never been a child because no child born after the year 1953 wanted to do that, you know? No one's like, "Let's play Chutes and Ladders." No one does that. In 93,
can't play stick and hoop, can't play Chutes and Ladders. What do kids do these days?
In 93, they canonically have Game Boys. They do not need to play Chutes and Ladders. Funny thing, I always preferred sliding down the snakes to climbing up the ladders. That's a quote from Night of the Demon. Great movie.
Excellent movie.
And in the UK, Chutes and Ladders is Snakes and Ladders, which is a better name for a game.
Yeah, way more interesting. I feel like kids don't really do. I don't know. Kids, let us know. Mail in.
Write in. Hey, gang, write in.
Write in and let us know. Did you know what a chute is?
Yeah,
like
that's why you should say Snakes and Ladders. Snakes, like, that makes sense. I know what a fucking snake is.
I feel like kids, I think that's one of those words that's like, it's like vestigial and it's going to like kind of fall off at some point in the future. Like, I don't know anyone who's saying the word shoot. Like, is CHUTE.
At some point, don't they describe what Danny's house is? They describe what kind of house he has.
I think so.
And I thought, why are you putting this here? Because children absolutely do not know what that means.
Yeah.
It's a modern red brick erection of Queen Anne's time.
Yes. Isn't it it's a Redwood Ranch style house. As if 12-year-olds know what that means.
Might as well be talking about the fucking mortgage, RL. Kids don't give a shit.
Kids at home going, "That's the style they're going with?" Jeez, I figure they kind of clash with everything else going on in the neighborhood.
Oh, what are the colors in their kitchen? Mauve? Oh, fucking
Mauve?
Philistines.
An avocado bath, probably.
Carpeted kitchen, absolutely.
To think.
So
yeah, that's my section. All done. That's it for me.
The end of that chapter is her putting her face against the window of Danny's kitchen.
Yes.
Which is like, again, people don't do that, Hannah. You can't do this. Is it my turn now?
Yeah.
Is that true?
I
Yes, it is.
yeah,
Oh,
I just said.
I just tried to. I remember which chapters I did. I did the next group of chapters until I stopped doing them. I did a number of chapters beginning with 6 and ending with a number. Or beginning with 7 and ending with a number I don't remember. Okay, so here we go. Surprise! People live at homes. Hannah comes face to face with Danny, who behaves shockingly graciously.
Fuck.
Oh my god!
There's so many visual jokes happening. God damn it.
Snow White's face is pressed agonizingly against the glass.
I'm gonna have to post all of these pictures on Twitter.
Yep,
and
you sure are.
Y'all,
contextless.
Yes, contextless. Just for a nice fun time, go to YCSM Pod on Twitter, and you will see exactly all of the pictures that we're talking about. But for the context of this podcast, for right now, it is Snow White pressing her face against the fucking glass and doing that thing where she moves her face down so her nose is going all the way up and flaring her nostrils. It's very funny.
That's exactly what it's like. So I'll get back on track here. Okay, Hannah comes face to face with Danny, who behaves shockingly graciously for discovering a strange girl at his window, going so far as to offer her some of his mom's dinner. Hannah leaves having learned the valuable lesson that she needs to get better at stalking people. A mostly pointless chapter ensues as Hannah attempts and fails to follow Danny, and R.L. Stine, 1, remembers Janie exists by suggesting she'd be a good spy. 2, insinuates that dogs can see ghosts. A dog reacts to Hannah as she passed by. 3, describes a perfectly normal town. Finally, the hooded figure appears and floats after Hannah, reaching out after her and knocking her off her bike. Because R.L. Stine remembered he was writing a horror novel. I have a theory that R.L. Stine in this book basically added the hooded figure exclusively because someone at Scholastic was like, Robert Louis Stine, this is not an especially scary Goosebumps book. And he was like, okay, I'll put a Heartless in it from Kingdom Hearts that hasn't been made yet. Because it certainly appears every point in the book where the action has paused for a while.
Yes. It's definitely...
It's me, the specter of the story, here to push the plot forward!
I see you don't have a cliffhanger for this chapter. Mind if I butt in? Well, here I am.
I see someone needs a cliffhanger. Any further thoughts on Chapter 7?
Nope, not from me.
Dogs can see them, so this might play by quantum leap rules. Continue.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, it's very clearly established the dog does react to Hannah, and that, thus far, besides Danny, is the only thing in this book that we know is alive that reacts to her. So
the rules of this world are pretty interesting, especially the Kingdom Hearts rules, but dogs can see them, and also maybe they can vote.
Dogs might be able to vote in this world. That's possible. I think they should be able to if they can see ghosts.
I'm going to have to say no. I don't think they should be allowed to.
Okay,
I'm sorry, but I just have to get that off my chest before we go further. I'm sorry.
Okay. So Chapter 8, before we get too political.
There's no rule that says the dog can't vote.
In perhaps our first true fake-out chapter ending of this book, Hannah looks up to find that the shadowy figure has been replaced with Danny. Danny is helpful and concerned, having just watched Hannah basically beef it off of her bike. But Hannah will not stop asking if he saw the shadow guy, which he repeatedly establishes he did not. It's a very bad conversation. Having fully descended into madness, Hannah writes an unhinged letter to Janie, who still exists. Hannah reveals that she thinks Danny is a ghost and includes dubious evidence, but has stopped from mailing her very sad letter to Danny, who somehow knows what she's written. But actually, this is another obvious dream. Yes. If you thought Janie's last letter was wild, this one is absolutely fucking crazy pants. Like, she's describing Janie abandoning her. She gets real mean. She says that she hopes she falls in the lake and drowns. She hopes she gets bitten by a snake and her entire body swells up.
Oh, so basically, the other character from the previous book.
Yep.
I mean, honestly, when you talked about the body swelling up, since we talked about it earlier, my brain just snapped back to Friday the 13th because that's what happened to Jason, really.
Yes. Basically, for all we know, Janie currently haunts Camp Crystal Lake in this world. I also felt like, when you realize that, like, Hannah, when you know the twist, but even if you don't, this is kind of sad. Like, Hannah's, like, writing these letters to her friend who's not responding, and, like, it's very lonely, this story,
I was expecting something to happen with Janie, but spoilers, it never does. Like, we don't know.
No.
I
think she's just moved on. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
She's in high school at this point, or actually in college.
Honestly, I've got this weird mental through line where I'd like to think that this is many decades later. Maybe Janie still lives at the same address. Maybe she's taken up ownership of the house. All of a sudden, she starts getting letters from a long dead childhood friend saying, "I hope you get poison ivy on your butthole."
What? Exactly that voice, yes. I was waiting for a one of the
trauma.
Like a way to do this would have been like, have one of the ladies like ignoring Hannah, who they call like Mrs. Whatever
Quincy,
and then it's revealed that it's
Janie.
It's Janie who got married. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
If R.L. Stine wanted to pull a gunbuster and have Janie have actively age, as this goes on, that would be kind of wild. And even more depressing. God.
Yeah. That's probably a good thing that you don't want.
I mean, like, what I felt reading this was like that there's moments like this chapter where this is surprisingly like bleak and sad to think about, like, the reality of this, in the same way that it's sad to think about Garfield having made up John and Odie and Nermal and living alone in an abandoned house. Like, it's quite sad to think about that. So in the same way that Garfield makes me feel sad, Hannah also does.
And while we're on the topic real quick, R.L. Stine is quoted as is saying that this is the saddest. In his opinion, this is the saddest Goosebumps book.
I would say that's accurate thus far. I can't imagine a sadder one.
Yeah.
Like, this is like, I think it just being from Hannah's perspective and her describing like how lonely and depressed she feels all summer, Yeah,
and how the days are like melting together and like.
Yeah, like time seems to lose meaning, and like I can relate to that. Like, and having lonely summers, those feel pretty bad.
Yeah.
But like to then think about the fact that she's doing this eternally.
Yeah.
It's
kind of
anyway
depressing. Yeah. Anyway,
kind of depressing. Just like if Garfield did not in fact live with John Arbuckle, but instead was imagining him and lived alone in an abandoned house, we'd all agree that's quite sad. Anyway,
it begs the question why Garfield is dreaming of John drinking cum, but whatever.
I dream of Creamy.
God damn it, next chapter. Whatever chapter it is. 9? I don't know. Amazing. Hannah was asleep.
Incredible.
But somehow she still wrote the letter? It's not established where she falls asleep in this part. Like, that's, yeah. It's unclear where in the writing of the letter she falls asleep.
Oh, yeah.
Hannah believes that her dream was prophetic, so she is going to find out Danny's deal or die trying. Step 1 of this dangerous plan, go get ice cream. Hannah walks to Danny's house at night to ask him out and sees his mom sitting in the kitchen. Hannah slams on the door and yells like a psychopath, and yet his mom is unresponsive, I should say, irresponsible. And yet his mom is unresponsive. Could she also be a ghost?
Absolutely.
Or could it be maybe the normal reaction of not wanting to open the door when a psychotic child begins screaming at it?
It's like a clock where all of the times are replaced with ghost. What time is it?
Ghost o'clock.
It's a fucking ghost o'clock. Chapter 10. That comes right after 9. Hannah comes to the rational conclusion that because Danny's mom won't react to her, she must be a ghost and therefore not real, which gets into some very deep philosophical questions about what is or isn't real. But anyway, enough of that. Ice cream time. Hannah goes home and attempts to tell her parents about ghosts, but they just want to drink Diet Coke. Hannah gets $5, noting that, and goes into town. It's an empty, quote-unquote, hick town. I doubt that highly, but whatever. But the ice cream parlor, at least, is open late. She sees Danny and Co. run out and is subsequently knocked down. Oh, no.
It's like the fourth time she's been knocked down so far.
Yes, she just keeps getting knocked down. But she gets back up again, as Chumbawamba would say.
The prophet Chumbawamba.
So this also raises some questions. So one, ghosts are not real, apparently, in this world. But, like, ghosts are, quote-unquote, not real. But they are a thing. So the rules there are interesting. But then also, I don't yet know why ghosts are bad. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why it's bad that they're ghosts, in Hannah's mind.
Well, I guess that's for, it's a typical thing with kids, too. I mean, a kid will hear about a ghost story and just immediately be like, oh, you mean you died and there's something that is left over after you're dead? Oh, I am afraid of that.
I would just cite the musician Rocky Elmore and note that if you have ghosts, you have everything.
I think this, to your point, though, I think that this story in particular does a fantastic job of asking that question and getting kids to be like, oh, I wonder what it would be like to be a ghost.
This is a ghost rehabilitation story. Yeah. It's rehabilitating the image of ghosts for children.
This is ghost propaganda.
This is
Polterganda?
Polterganda. Chapter 11. This girl cannot stop getting bumped into.
Nope.
Turns out Danny and Co. stole some ice cream from Mr. Harder, who complains about kids these days, society, etc. Hannah fears that Danny might be arrested, which, the 90s, when that was the most dangerous thing the police might do to you. Anywho, feeling distressed for some reason, Hannah looks for Danny and hides when finding him. Danny is eating ice cream with his hilarious friends, Alan and Fred, who joke about going back to steal more ice cream, and all but call Danny a pussy. Peer pressure themes? I don't know. Suddenly, headlights. Could it be the cops? Almost certainly not. I do feel like there's some pretty heavy peer pressure stuff as this book goes on. It's not subtle, I wouldn't say, but like there are several scenes of peers literally pressuring Danny into doing crimes.
Yeah, I feel like that will happen no matter what if you just have shitty friends.
And these kids are shitty.
Yes. Danny is a precious boy. He wouldn't hurt a soul. His friends, even though they were introduced as the dog owners of Mr. Chesney's,
as the victims in this scenario,
suddenly they're now they're giant pieces of shit who are just like stealing shit and like daring Danny to do awful shit. So
they are grade school summer friends. They are friends you have in the summer because there's no one else around. And in the fall you ditch them because they're your summer friends.
Mm-hmm.
Chapter 12. Wow, the car was just a random old dude. Okay, turns out the guys have stopped in Chesney's, remember him? Driveway. Continuing to suck, Alan and Fred make fun of his objectively cool handmade mailbox. Then they encourage Danny to steal the mailbox and remind him of his claim that he, quote, never turns down a dare. Hannah tries to intervene, but I can't read the word I've written. Oh, but a shadow envelops her. Ah-ha-ha-ha.
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 Oh my god, is that
and
the
I think
vibe
that's
I'm
the
in?
end of my chapters. That's what he sounds like, yeah. Is that the end of my chapters? Did I end on a cliffhanger?
I believe
yes,
so.
I did.
I believe we split them up by 6.
Perfectly into that moment. So, the mailbox that Chesney has is like a carved swan in flight. I think that's dope as hell. The guy sucks, but his mailbox is cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird that it's not anchored in cement.
Yeah, it is weird.
It's kind of like, it's one thing to be like, oh, well, if it breaks, how do you fix it? But also it's just like, well, people are going to steal it if it's a very nice mailbox. So it's just like, I'm surprised they pull it out.
You would think that if you were a huge asshole, you would probably anchor your mailbox, because for one thing, if you are one, the kind of asshole that points shotguns at children, and two, have an extremely objectively cool, elaborate mailbox, those two things are going to be in conflict pretty much right off the bat, I would think.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I think that you're right.
I think you're right. Thank you.
I think Brandon had the next.
Yes. Give me just 1 second.
You're putting the.
Are you
My
still making the cum
masterpiece.
font?
The finishing touches. The finishing touches.
If,
You won't
if
believe.
listeners, if you wonder why Brandon's been suspiciously silent, it's because he's crafting a masterwork.
It's because I'm very nice. I'm a nice boy.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, hang on.
I just keep looking at Snow White's face in the
Yes.
Discord chat.
I'm just staring at it, and she's staring at something. There it is.
God damn it!
Oh my god. It's so.
Is this the book that has the cum stuff?
Oh my god.
I was downloading fonts. I was doing research.
So much research.
There's a wiki for all of the fonts used in Goosebumps. This is, even though it is on the wiki that shall not be named, very useful stuff.
Oh, is that the straight up Goosebumps font?
There's several things.
Oh.
Yes, that's one of them is the straight up Goosebumps
Is
font.
it called Goosebumps font, or does it have a fancy name?
It's called cum, would you believe?
Oh my god.
It's called Liquify.
Liquify?
And the,
Interesting.
Yeah, and the book titles are Futura Condensed Medium.
Of course it's Futura.
My favorite medium.
Yes. So, back to the task for which we all had gathered here. Before we move on, and before I get into my chapters, Bob,
Yes.
I think that you sort of flew over a pretty important bit of the book in your intro.
Yes.
Yeah. Hannah's brothers give like a little diatribe about the Game Boy. Didn't you think it was weirdly long? Maybe you just skipped over it.
I have a problem with paying attention to things in general. I might have skipped over that. Did you want to read it?
Sure. It's pretty important, so I'm just going to read it verbatim.
Sure. Yeah, we need the context.
Yeah. One of Hannah's brothers, the old man kid named Bill, comes out to the back porch while Hannah is sitting there. Hannah, Herb won't give me back my Game Boy. Bill stood on the back stoop, leaning against the open screen door. I was playing Super Mario Land 2, Bill said. Super Mario Land 2 is pretty easygoing and free-flowing, as you're welcome to visit the game's 6 different zones and pursue the lost golden coins in any order you choose, Bill continued. All the stages are united by one big overall hub world that's full of fun details and personality, like the giant turtle that eats you to send you down to the water zone, or the magic hills that shrink Mario down to tiny size so he can enter the microscopic macro zone, or the zone that simply takes place inside a gigantic robotic Mario. Bill leaned towards Hannah conspiratorially. That one's called the Mario Zone.
I can't believe I missed that. That's a lot of
That's
like
that's
It's like 2 pages.
I see why.
Maybe they took it out of the audiobook.
The pages were stuck together, of course.
awesome.
Well, back to the actual real story. Chapter 13. As Chapter 13 opens, a mysterious shadow beckons to Hannah, getting closer and closer. It's so close, she can smell its hot, sour breath. Brush your teeth, ghost. With ruby eyes burning like fire, the specter of tooth decay continues to approach Hannah. It comes closer and closer, and then it's gone again. Wow. Hannah wonders to herself whether the shadow will return. It's unfortunate for her that she's in a story. The 3 boys are still crouching in the head near Mr. Chesney's mailbox. Danny is vocally uncomfortable with his friend's suggestion that he purloin the swan-shaped letter receptacle until he himself is compared to a different sort of bird in the timeless tradition of children pressuring other children to do something stupid. After a bit of banter and free-form clucking, Danny reaches for the wings and attempts to remove the swan from its roost. Suddenly, a voice from behind. I wouldn't do that if I were you. It's Mr. Chesney, and he's pissed. Chapter 14. Oh, wait, do you want to, any, that's a pretty short chapter. Any thoughts?
Only thing I'll say is this like, have we had a combo, like a streak of Goosebumps books where one of the kids does the chicken impression from Arrested Development? Like,
I think we have. Yeah.
I think so.
it's just a lot. Anyway.
It's definitely happens. It happened in the last one, surely, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
It's because they won't go in the haunted bunk. So okay.
What the hell is going on? Anyway,
I don't know.
A lot of kids doing chicken.
It's one of the modes of child conversation that R.L. Stein feels comfortable
most
with.
comfortable in. Yeah. He dips into it like a cool pool of jelly and just luxuriates.
Yes, your chicken. Cluck, cluck. Chapter 14. The angry letter carrier grabs Danny by the shoulder, causing Danny to wrench off one of the swan's wings, which drops to the ground. Hannah attempts to yell, but can't manage more than a whisper. The boys run away, and Chesney shouts that next time he will be waiting with a shotgun. A note for listeners who do not live in America. Here it is socially acceptable, bordering on legal, to shoot children dead if you don't like them and they are near your property. Or if they seem like they are near your property, or if your skin is a certain color, or if you're scared, and so on. Americans understand fundamentally that human life is worthless, everyone is armed, and any person holding a gun perceives anything larger than a puppy as a chain-wielding thug from Death Wish.
Barely got away with our lives.
I don't know how any of us survived childhood or a day on this earth.
A lot of them don't.
Yeah, that's true.
We got lucky.
Yeah.
Anyway, Mr. Chesney picks up the swan's wing, and Hannah runs to catch up to Danny et al. She passes through the town square, now deserted and dark, except for the neon lights above Harder's ice cream parlor. Danny finds the boys beneath a dark tree. Fred and Alan are laughing about their escape, while Danny groans that his shoulder hurts from where Chesney grabbed it. The boys suggest Chesney deserves a little payback for scaring them. Danny suggests that they shouldn't, because of the shotgun. The group speculates about whether Chesney would actually murder them to protect his mailbox. America! Fred and Alan agree Chesney should suffer further indignities at their hands, while Danny bows out to go home. Fred and Alan take turns agreeing how they loved stealing ice cream and are going to mess with the unhinged, shotgun-wielding man that hates kids. They both agree that nothing dramatic will happen to them in the near future. Hannah catches up with Danny, who is surprised to see her. She admits she saw the boys stealing ice cream and tells Danny that Fred and Alan are bad news. Danny says they aren't so bad, they just talk tough. Danny and Hannah walk in silence for a bit. Danny kicks a rock down a sidewalk. Hannah looks up at the sky. Hannah looks up at the sky and watches the crescent moon pass behind a cloud. The word painting business in this book. Good stuff. After a while, Hannah remembers that she went to Danny's house earlier and saw Danny's mom. She tells Danny this, and that Danny's mother did not respond no matter how hard she knocked on the door. Danny stares at her but says nothing. As they walk towards their block in silence, Hannah mentally evaluates the social acceptability of accusing an acquaintance of being a ghost and having a ghost mom. When they reach Danny's driveway, Hannah asks Danny pointedly why his mom didn't answer the door. Danny winds up. I guess I should tell you the truth, he whispers. Is it time for the big reveal? Chapter 15. No!
Is that your entire summary?
No. The rest of the book. Okay, close the book. Done. We're done.
That's the end. What a climax. Danny says his mom is deaf due to an inner ear infection. In retrospect, it is probably more likely that Danny's mom is hard of hearing rather than that she is the matron of a ghost family. Danny continues that his mom really doesn't like people to know, that she doesn't want people to feel sorry for her, and that she is really good at lip reading. Thanks for bringing it up, Hannah. Hannah feels bad, and she says she won't tell anyone. Danny says goodbye, but when Hannah turns to wave goodnight, he has disappeared. Just like a ghost does.
Ghost o'clock.
It's ghost o'clock. It's always ghost o'clock in Hannah's mind.
It's always ghost o'clock, especially when it's night and dark.
Oh dear! Look at the time.
How can Hannah, a person disappear in the dark? It's it's hard to imagine.
My God.
Her explanation for everything is ghosts.
Yes.
Which I mean is kind of on point, but we'll get there.
She thinks the sock that gets lost in her dryer is a ghost.
It must have been ghosts.
It must have been ghosts.
Just everything.
There can be no other explanation.
Where'd the TV remote go? It's a fucking ghost.
Must have been the Fae spirits again.
God damn it.
The Fae have done it once more. What if she had a very different belief and it's like, Danny, you and your mom, you're fairies.
What?
Don't call me a fairy, Hannah.
Hannah, what the fuck?
I haven't told you my real name, so you have no power over me in this realm.
Danny, you smell like a dog. Are you a werewolf? Are you a dog? No, just not a werewolf. Just are you a dog?
You love dogs. Danny, you like lasagna. Are you Garfield?
Well, that's just me. I just think everybody's Garfield. I just assume everybody's Garfield until they tell me otherwise.
Could it be? Is it Garfield?
Danny had disappeared, much like the Temple Guardians do on Legends of the Hidden Temple. Could he be a Temple Guardian?
Oh my god, no, all the Temple Guardians are ghosts.
It's Olmec.
This is the only... Oh my god, all of those taped episodes are so fucking haunted.
This is the second time I've walked into a conversation about Legends of the Hidden Temple today, and I'm not kidding.
What? You don't vibe with Olmec?
You don't want to go...
This morning I was talking with folks about that. We were also talking about the crag.
Aggro crag.
The crag.
Yeah,
the aggro crag.
You ever see what it looks like in actuality? Yes. It looks very cheap.
Oh, yeah. They were selling one on eBay like a while ago.
It looks so appealing on TV, and then you look at images, it's just like, huh?
I find Legends of the Hidden Temple, and this, by the way, we're getting ahead of ourselves because it premiered in September of 1993, so it was going to be on next time. But I love the conceit of Legends of the Hidden Temple, that all of this shit finds its way down to Olmec's lair. Like, one of the things was Harriet Tubman's walking stick.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Did a lot of walking, huh? Like, walked all the way down into an Aztec temple. Sure, why not?
Maybe it's just like some sort of a weird Rube Goldberg type thing, to where it just somehow falls from place to place and magically ends up over there eventually, you know?
Yeah.
All things find their way into Olmec's trash pit at some point.
You know what the real answer is.
Olmec is a covetous spirit. That's the thing. Objects of power are drawn to Olmec.
No, Olmec's stealing everybody's shit. Olmec's just running around yanking shit.
Why does Olmec feel a bit like a Dark Souls NPC? Like in the Elden Ring expansion, you're going to find Olmec down there.
Oh.
He needs an ominous cackle.
He is a covetous demon.
Who is the?
Oh my god!
Who is the turtle in Elden Ring?
I never actually met Pope Turtle, but I
you
know
didn't.
him.
You didn't meet Pope Turtle?
I walked right past him in my playthrough.
What?
Isn't it Miriam?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Miriam.
Extreme Olmec.
Miriel. It's Miriel.
For me, it was like, Olmec. Like, not as old. Like, Miriam is definitely more, like, aged.
I mean, it's literally... Miriel is literally the name of the grandma from Courage the Cowardly Dog, so...
That's just an old person name. It fits.
It's an old person name.
They're born that old. It's just like R.L. Stein.
R.L. Stein, folks, you heard here first. R.L. Stein is the turtle from Elden Ring. Yes. They do bear a resemblance to one another.
Jovial.
We are encouraging everybody to... Is there a sign you can put on the ground in Elden Ring that just says "come"?
I will just say, if you look at a picture of Muriel the turtle from Elden Ring, and you look at his expression, and then you pull up a picture of R.L. Stein, like, I'm going to do this right now. I'll do this for us in Discord chat, right?
So don't give Brandon something else to do.
Here's this picture of Muriel the turtle, right?
Okay.
Now look at his face. Now look at R.L. Stein in literally any picture of R.L. Stein that's ever been taken.
You don't even have to post it. I can see.
I will do it for other people though. That is the exact same expression.
It's like a very subtle Animorphs change.
Yes.
It's not even that many steps.
No, it's
they're both at a 3/4 perspective as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh my god.
Like, I don't know if you notice that he takes a lot of pictures from the 3/4 perspective, and it's always this expression.
Yes. It's always like a semi-bemused sort of like half eye. He looks like he's about to wink.
Yes, he does.
He's tired after a long day, but he's positive about it. That's the expression.
And that's the expression of the turtle. That's the exact expression
Bob,
of the turtle.
When you saw R.L. Stein in person, was he also just facing you that exact angle? Like, is this the thing that whenever people see him in public, like his whole thing is that that's the only face he can present, and it's always snapped and focused in the same manner?
Yeah. When he was walking away, even though his whole body was turned around, his head was just strangely, eerily 3/4 looking at me, half eye.
His right ear, you never see it.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's very strange.
Faces just always snap just like that, man.
Incredible.
Yep. That's so. Anyway, kids at home, just so you know, R.L. Stine is essentially a large vocal turtle.
I'll play Elden Ring again at some point. I didn't make it very far anyway, so
it's
I
good.
will get
It's
R.L.
good.
Stein though.
It's good. It's good.
I got through the academy, and that was about it.
Okay. Well, that is one of the best looking parts of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And you will encounter Mr. Stein someday, Jovial Bob.
He is right by the academy, so you could find him easily.
Yes.
In fact, there's a teleporter that takes you right to him in the academy.
I'll sniff around later.
Anyway.
Probably, yes. So back to the story. Hannah heads towards her own back door, reflecting that maybe her imagination has gotten the better of her.
Yep.
She turns the corner and approaches the cone of light cast on the back stoop. Again, more word painting. Good stuff. The shadow is waiting for her. This time, the shadow does the opposite of beckoning. It points at Hannah with a shadowy finger and warns her to stay away. Chapter 16. Stay away, the shadow clarifies, from Danny. Hannah howls, no! The shadow's red eyes flare up in response as the dry voice again whispers that Hannah better listen to its warning. Hannah rudely screams, no! Again. The shadow sweeps closer. Then the kitchen door is thrown open, sending a rectangle of light out into the yard. R.L. Stine keeps setting the scene. Hannah's dad walks out, asking what's going on. Hannah indicates the shadow, which of course is no longer there. It is at this point that Hannah realizes she cannot rely on the things she sees and hears to inform her of the nature of reality. She bluntly declares that she is not crazy. Hannah and her parents fruitlessly search for an intruder. Her dad offers to call the police. Hannah abruptly decides to go to bed instead. She walks to her room and pushes the bedroom door open. Well. If it isn't my old friend, Creepy Shadow. How are you, Creepy Shadow? Except just kidding. It's a sweater on a bud.
Except not real.
Yeah, this is a classic Goosebumps fake out, but really not as bad as the stuff from the last book, as most people have had the experience of being startled by a coat in a dark room. So,
sure.
Chapter 17. Hannah hops in pajamas and crawls under the covers. Understandably, she cannot sleep. She observes the shifting shadows of tree limbs in the front yard and thinks about Danny. She analyzes the evidence for and against him being a ghost. Why hadn't she ever seen him in school? Are Fred and Alan ghosts too? Why is the shadow trying to keep her away from Danny? Eventually, Hannah falls asleep and dreams troubled dreams. She is standing in a great cave, and a distant fire burns at the far-off mouth of the cave. The shadow is in the cave with her. It approaches closer and closer until it is close enough to touch. Then, with two stick-like arms, the shadow reaches up and pulls at its head to reveal Danny's face with grinning red eyes. This is the sort of stuff that I, as a kid, wanted to see in Goosebumps. Good, light horror stuff.
This is dope as hell. I'll be honest with you. This is dope.
Sure, yeah.
If you're going to do a dream scene, this is pretty fucking cool, actually.
And this is the image the Korean cover was depicting.
Yeah.
With Emil's face behind it. Waking up, Hannah argues with herself that Danny can't be the shadow. She decides to talk to Danny about it. The next morning, she sees
you a
Danny
shadow?
Are you Shadow the Hedgehog?
you Shadow the Hedgehog?
The next morning, she sees Danny kicking a soccer ball in his backyard. Running out the screen door, she immediately asks Danny if he is a ghost. Good stuff. Just go for it. Just go for it.
Do it.
You know, people beat around the bush too much.
You a ghost?
You ghost? Hey, Geop, are you ghost? Oh, I think I heard him get up and run. I think he's gone.
He's a ghost. I think that proves it. I think if you can, we did not see him leave, so I think that proves he is a ghost.
Yeah. When you offered a bio break earlier and he went, I don't need one, like you flesh bags, we probably should have gathered.
Like you gross fleshy weirdos.
Geop?
Oh, Geop?
Geop's just gone. Something just touched me.
Oh, sorry, that was my bad.
Oh, okay. Wait,
I was reaching for my drink, sorry.
There's a ghost stone floats behind you.
A very spooky rock.
The squirrel from outside my house floats behind me.
I do like how Hannah says adamantly she's not crazy, and then opens the door and gets freaked out by a coat.
Yeah.
That's very funny, RL. You made a funny joke.
So she asks Danny if he is a ghost. Chapter 18. Danny goes, huh? And Hannah says, never mind.
And Santa says, never mind. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Someone's getting coal for Christmas.
Danny and Hannah begin mildly passing a soccer ball back and forth while they chat, soccer talking. Their sentences are punctuated by little bits about who hit the ball where, which is good pacing. The pacing and the word painting in this book are nice. Jovial Bob is really kicking ideas around, going for the goal, like a soccer goal. Compared to the last story, Ghost Next Door is in a different league, perhaps the English Premier League, while the last story would be the Saudis. It's a keeper. It wouldn't raise any red flags. The sign was clearly goal-oriented. Danny is a goalkeeper who really knows how to get his kicks in. Arsenal versus Middlesex, South Huntington, Fig Newton, Chippy Mix 38, no loss better, A. Watt, FIFA, Liverpool, Kidney Pool, Lionel Messi's thighs and those shorts. Association football, more commonly known as football or soccer, is a team sport played between two teams of 11 players who primarily use their feet to propel a ball around a rectangular field called a pitch. Footy.
Very forward. Very forward.
Whew.
Wowie.
Oh my gosh.
Sports themes. They be coming up. Hannah and Danny
yellow card.
Continue to footy. Yellow card.
My favorite band. Go! Yep.
Sorry, I was clearing my throat.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know a thing about soccer.
Yeah, I'm pretty tapped out.
I had to do research for that crap.
It showed.
That was basically just a list of Google searches, yeah.
Wow.
Hannah and Danny continue to footy. Hanny asks why she's never seen Danny, Fred, or Alan at school. Danny asks why no one has seen Hannah. Wow. Hannah struggles to play the King's Nephews game in sandals, and Danny announces he does actually want to go back to Chesney's and pay him back for scaring the crew. Hannah says that the boys are just looking for trouble, and Danny mutters, nothing else to do in this town. Competitive dying would be a hell of a summer activity. Danny slips on the ball and falls into the grass. He asks Hannah to help him up, and when she reaches to grab him, her hand passes right through Danny. Oh my God, is he ghosts?
Ghosts?
Oh my God.
Could he be ghosts? Hey, is this kid ghosts?
Is it finally actually honestly Ghost O'Clock?
Ghost O'Clock? It could be.
Is he 100% ghost? Mm-hmm. Chapter 19. They both scream. Danny asks Hannah to help him up again, and her hand goes through Danny. They both square off and accuse each other of being really the ghost. Stop pretending, says Hannah. I know the truth. Danny, you're a ghost. Danny says, huh? Drops his cap, scratches his head, stares at her. Hannah repeats the accusation. Danny denies it, says he is not a ghost, then sticks his hand straight through Hannah's chest. Kali Ma! Danny looks at his hand in horror, then says, you! Then runs home at top speed. Hannah stares as Danny runs home. She feels dizzy as she realizes the truth. Danny's not the ghost. I am!
My God.
Amazing. It's impossible to have guessed this twist.
No. Did not see it coming.
I'll give it, again.
He did the work.
He did the work.
So there was one other thing. I think I was trying to place where it was in my memory. It may have been when he... I couldn't place where this was in the flow of things. She started to write a letter saying that he was a ghost, and he showed up and said, hey, don't send that anywhere.
Yeah.
Where was that in the flow of things? Was
that was the dream? It was a dream she had.
Was that the same dream where he had the flaming red eyes and stuff?
No, that was a different one.
No.
Okay.
No, it was one of my chapters. It was, yeah. So when she writes the letter to Janie detailing her suspicions, she's leaning on a tree and she falls asleep at some point. And in that dreamless sleep, a dream dost appear wherein, a young lad by Christian named Danny dost, protest to her sending the letter forthwith.
Don't.
I don't know why I had a stroke in the middle of that.
Yeah, I was very...
Verily, forsooth, it sounded fine. Okay, so I've got my chapters here.
Yeah.
I don't know if my summaries are going to be as verbose as the norm. I also kind of feel that the pacing of this there's a lot less talking at times, a lot more action oriented. And it felt like I was looking at the number of chapters I had, and I looked at the page number, and I was like, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, yours are like...
Yeah, it was like a page each at times. I was like, wait a second.
Yeah, you just like... Your chapters are literally... This is the part of the book, and this happens in every book that R.L. Stine has written, as far as I can tell, where he realizes that he has almost reached his page count.
Yes.
And then has to do the rest of the book very quickly.
Paper don't grow on trees, you know?
Yeah. So at this point, R.L. Stine just starts kind of action vomiting into the...
Okay. So as we open on chapter 20, Hannah's kind of just coming with the whole thing of ghost and ghost, me ghost. And in the middle of this, there's a neighbor, Mrs. Quilty, and she just starts exposition dumping conveniently with somebody nearby. And they say, oh, that house, it's a lovely house. And Hannah's like, oh, they're talking about my house. And then I had a note here. I actually forgot about this. They say that the house burned down 5 years ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I had forgotten that figure. I figured it was just some inordinate point in the past, but it was 5 years.
It is easy to think that it's longer. And I do feel like it should be longer. You know what I mean? But
because these people, like most of the neighbors in the neighborhood, they could have just, this could be the only new people on the block. Or actually, no, I'm sorry. Let me walk back from my wording there. I was about to trip down some mental stairs that weren't going anywhere, as I say so often. But anyway, the house burned down. It was rebuilt, and it just stayed vacant. Presumably, it's an ugly house.
I mean, we can take that from that, yeah.
R.L. Stine was very pointed about the neighbor's house. I want to say this house, absolute dog shit. In fact, I want to say it's a total Grover house.
Oh,
because it's like 5 years on the market, nobody's moved in. I mean, just
can you imagine 5
that?
years on market.
Yeah,
oh my god,
this is just senseless. Now
in today's economy, impossible.
And so, as we drew from this, the lady said to the neighbor said to the lady, oh, everybody died in there. And the possible trigger of it was the kids playing they had like a campfire in the backyard. And the fire somehow got out of control from the campfire, got to the house and burned it all down. And it's at this point I decided that the twins inevitably caused this, because I feel like they were the trickster gods that popped in this family situation. They said, Herb, yes, Bill, we must burn down this home. And so it happened. Everybody died. It was miserable. And I posit that those children were evil.
Yeah. I think that Herb and Bill are evil. That is definite. I do think it is. Bob, were you going to say that the ghost story thing was the thing in the first chapter that you noticed?
No.
Okay.
The fire in the dream, I totally forgot about that until y'all mentioned it. And I thought of this with the house burning down. I went, oh, shit.
Yeah. It's actually like kind of well done.
Yeah.
Like
it's set up. Yeah.
And also in the first chapter, Hannah does say that she, like, last night, after she wakes up from the dream, that she was telling ghost stories in the backyard with Bill and Herb. So like that. So yes. R.L. Stine does lay the groundwork that Hannah's memories do like end at the fire night. So
the fire fest,
the fire fest.
God damn
it. So or the fire fall, as some might say. Gamers rise up. Anyway.
So at this point, Garfield returns to her house. She begins knocking on the door, and I forgot if there was no answer or something, but she gets inside the house itself.
Yeah.
And realizes it's totally empty. Nothing looks the way it should. There is just nothing. And as she's walking around the home, quote the talking head, she's musing to herself, how do I work this? Where's that large automobile? This is not my beautiful house. No, it was not, in fact, her beautiful life.
Truly unfortunate.
So, God damn it.
The only thing
sucks.
Well, go ahead.
We're just adding on.
Sucks when that happens, man. It sucks.
We're just riffing.
Just riffing.
So Garfield picks up. She sees a phone on the counter and picks it up. And the line is dead. And this is where something happens in the story that I thought was. This is. I hate to say it's the first time, but this was an interesting point of the story where time gets, as scientists call it, wibbly wobbly, because there are time skips from her perspective.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's like she is aware of it this time. And in the past, there'd be like things like, oh, the kid vanished. And then it turned out, no, maybe that's just Garfield's existence is, ephemeral, passing in and out. And it's only now that they're like, wait a second. What happened today? Day's gone. It's night. No, it's day again. So Garfield steps outside and sees it's daytime and sees Danny, but he rides away on his bike. She begins calling to him and he just doesn't respond. Or no. Was it he ran away yelling she was a ghost, or did he just ignore her? I can't recall which.
I think he runs away. I think he says, stay away from me.
That's what it was, yeah. I remember that somewhere in the story, and I didn't have a note about that in here. So that's what it was, yeah.
Yeah.
So he basically knew that she was a spooky ghost. And thing is, she knows that he's returning to Chesney's house because, well, that mailbox is fixed, baby. We got to go steal that son of a bitch. So back in the mailbox, Danny's there with his two chucklefuck friends. Pardon my language.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they are.
Alan and Fred. I had their names here.
We've been talking about cum this entire time. And now you're like, oh,
you can't edit it out.
My language. I said,
yeah, no, they're quintessential fuckabouts, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So they're pulling up the mailbox sign, and unfortunately, it's not cemented, and it falls over. And they all begin hooting and hollering and saying, "Hey, we pulled it out. This is great." Yeah. Then Alan says, "Okay, I got these fucking matches now." Pulls out a whole bunch of matches and said, "Okay, let's go toward the house. Come on." And it's just like this wild escalation.
Yeah, right. It feels crazy.
It's like. Okay, hey, hang on. What was the plan? It's like, okay, we got us a mailbox. Okay, now let's burn all this shit.
Let's fucking kill this guy.
I can't stand this motherfucker.
Murders.
The bloodlust suddenly out of nowhere.
I got the bloodlust.
So Hannah begins chasing after them as they approach the house, but unfortunately, a ghost-sensitive, I'm sorry, not Hannah, Garfield.
Yes.
But at that point, a ghost-sensitive garden hose catches her leg in a coil. And for some reason, she has a lot of problems with this boggle because she's struggling with this for an inordinate amount of time. Just like, why can't I get my leg out? I'm stuck in this hose.
Several parts coming up. Beggar the question of how the rules work here, because she has physical matter and or physical concerns several times coming up. Yeah,
there's also the question of like what exists in like the ghost dimension and what exists in like the real dimension.
Yeah,
because I'll say it for what I was going to say a while ago, what I've been holding back.
Yes.
There have been multiple times when Garfield has been riding around the town on a bike, and the show plays with this, and it's so fucking funny when it does it. But the entire time I was thinking of this and predicting the twist, obviously, that that Hannah's a ghost. Oops, Garfield's a ghost. Is there just like a bike with no one on it, like flying around town?
Ooh, good question. Because in the show there is.
In the show, there's just like a bike just flying around, and this one lady she's getting ready to hop on her bike, and it just takes off without her, and she goes, "Hey, what? Huh? Who am I yelling at?" It's just fucking riding around town. It's incredible. Anyway,
so yeah, the thing is. As she is struggling with the serpent, aka the garden hose, she turns around and sees that the boys had actually set a fire inside of the Chesney's house because she could see a fire glow from the window.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, the black figure from before reappears, but vanishes after Alan. I mean, she's struggling with the ghostly figure, and right in the middle of it it snaps back to reality because Alan is actually running away from the house all of a sudden and trips over her after, scrambling out from the open window where she could see the fire from. So Alan and the other guy, I forgot his name, they ran away, and Danny was not running from the house, which was now increasingly on fire. And the boys ran off to get help, and the black figure reappears and blocks the window. And as alluded to before, it revealed it in a dream before, maybe, but at this point you see the face that it is actually Danny, or a mimicry of Danny, so to speak. It says, "If Danny dies, I shall be born," which is weird because the ghost is already a thing.
Yep.
So I don't understand what goes on here. Is this like you have to preserve the cycle, or does it gain greater power if Danny dies?
I feel the only thing I can assume is that this is in fact Danny's. Well, I don't know Kingdom Hearts rules. Would this be Danny's nobody or is Heartless?
What's the other one? It's like there's like the
unversed or something like that.
Nord.
Is Nording a thing?
It's Nording.
You get Norded. Yeah. Danny is getting Norded.
Yes. Did Danny get Norded?
Danny got Norded. Danny got Norded.
I feel like Brandon's been asleep and he just woke up. Brandon got Norded.
It's that you have to be careful here because there are people out there that care about this. And we're brushing up on offending them with our disgusting lack of knowledge, but it might be that Danny's in danger of getting Norded.
Oh yeah,
that could be so.
By
all right, hold on.
Heartless. Yeah. Okay. I'm
checking this. I'm checking this right now.
Oh my god,
this is important. This is crucial research.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so in a Heartless, there are two kinds. They're pureblood and emblem Heartless. Pureblood Heartless are natural Heartless, born from the darkness in people's hearts. Okay. An emblem Heartless are created from a machine designed to reproduce the process of a heart being consumed by darkness. So I don't think that this would be Danny's Heartless, but now his nobody, though.
Well, yeah, it would be, because
a nobody is the body and soul of a strong-willed individual who has lost their heart. So I think this would be closest to a nobody, but let's check on an unversed, because I don't know what those are. And the wiki is not telling me.
Ooh.
Unversed are those who are not well versed in their own existence.
That does.
I think he might be both. It sounds like he doesn't quite get what he's trying to do.
They are a result of the negative promotions produced when Ventus and Vanitas were separated by Master Xehanort.
God.
So they got Norded. When they got Norded, the unversed were created.
I don't think.
So when Danny gets Norded.
Yes.
So when Danny gets Norded,
his nobody becomes Danzig.
I know when you say Danny got Norded, I'm just thinking about Freddy got fingered for some reason.
Oh no.
Would Danny like some sausages?
Tom Green is Danny's nobody.
That reminds me. Did you hear that Tom Green on Twitter like a few weeks ago or something said that he still has all the original recorded footage from
my God.
Freddy Got Fingered?
Oh my God.
All of it.
Oh Jesus.
Continue, Mario.
Well, I don't think there's much to continue on. I think we just know now that Danny is what happens when Tom Green gets Norded, and then
and then he has some sausages.
Okay, so a couple things. Now that we know that this, Kingdom Hearts bullshittery is going on, the thing that I was talking about in the first chapter that's actually set up is in the first chapter, in the scene where Hannah Garfield is on fire and dying in the fire when she became a ghost. There is a small section where she describes looking at the mirror, and when she looks at the mirror, she sees her reflection, but it's dark. So this, he set that up.
Okay, so here's a question.
Yeah,
is Hannah the shadow figure? Is Hannah Shadow the Hedgehog?
That's the thing. It's implied that she is, but here's the problem with this whole thing is that this shadow bullshit fucks everything up.
Yeah.
Because
I
want to have sympathy, especially for what's coming up in the end for Hannah. But if the plot is insinuating that Hannah is of the same xenohort-nordy black shadow heartless
she's a nobody. She's a nobody.
As the thing that's been accosting her and trying to kill Danny, that makes me not want to be happy about what happened to Hannah. And how she died.
Hannah is the Roxas to real
I don't know
Sora.
what the fuck you're talking about, and I'm getting mad about it.
I got it, guys. Hannah is Garfexield to Garfield.
Okay, all right, I'm on board.
Well, the narrative clearly wants you to treat Hannah as a person with agency who is good. It does not explain why Danny has the Undernight in birth, ultra evil shadow, and I mean, the Danny shadow appears to be explicitly evil.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where Hannah is about to be very not evil and is clearly meant to be our point of view character and a person that we relate to. I don't really think that Jovial Bob thought through the implications of all of this. I don't think it's terrible either, because at least it's interesting, and it's the sort of like anime kind of rule that like a kid would be interested in, and indeed several of the covers do focus on this aspect, including the Japanese cover. So it's goofy, it doesn't make sense, but you know.
I need somebody from the Soul Society to come in with a diagram and explain what the fuck is happening and how Hannah gets her goddamn Bankai.
Here's the thing. You stole my joke. I was about to say that Garfield was... I was going to say where I left off was Garfield talking with this ghost. The ghost says, if Danny dies, they will achieve their Bankai.
God damn it!
I remember. That's the only thing I remember from Bleach. That's it.
Oh, fuck. I'm sorry.
Took it from me, Mario.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Hey, you can edit that out and then tell it like no one heard
That's
it coming.
true. You can just
all
completely
If you want to do that, I will do that
you
for
can
you.
Yeah, just take it again. Take it again.
All right, I'm leaving all this in. All right, Mario, really quick. You mentioned something about the Midnight Society. And okay, so I'm going to go over this because when I was listening to this book on tape, I was thinking that, okay, and this is my pitch for an alt version of this that would fix a lot of issues. My idea was that the ghost is actually a sort of like demon of fire, and that this like sort of demon wants to is specifically all about taking souls from flame. So burning, anytime anyone dies to fire, this thing grows in power, right? So it has a vested interest in everybody like sort of dying by fire. So that means that when it's attacking, it's basically a fire ghost. And so basically when it's attacked, it was the thing that caused Hannah and her family to die. And so she came back as a ghost to prevent it from killing more people. And I think that that's fucking rad. And because the reason why I said the Midnight Society and I jumped on you saying that is because there is a fucking fire ghost in one of the episodes of Are You Afraid of the Dark? There is an episode that specifically is about a fire ghost. I looked up fire ghost thinking that it would be a fun thing to look up. And the first thing that comes up is, Are You Afraid of the Dark?
So, Bob, I should mention that today, I remember I was mentioning I was talking about Legend of the Hidden Temple.
Yeah.
I was also talking about Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Well, there you go.
I don't remember the fire ghost. I remember very pointedly an episode about a kid who liked playing pinball who was stuck inside the mall.
Pinball was
I had a conversation.
And it ended alluding the kid was going to get fucking run over by a giant pinball. Going to kill a kid in the show.
I had a conversation with a coworker today about that episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark.
Was there an Are You Afraid of the Dark episode about a boy who was befriending a girl who turned out to be a ghost?
Yes.
Because this is just the inverse of that.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep. There is one.
So yeah. Anyway, thought it'd be fun to mention.
Okay. So I'll just get through my part here because these last two chapters are just it was just over super darn fast. And I was just like, well, I guess that's all I have for the summary on these.
Yep.
Because it's like, this is the thing that gets me. I don't know if I missed something, but the ghost blocks the way and it says, if Danny dies, the ghost will be born or I will be born. And then she just kind of goes, and just clambers through the window anyway. He doesn't really do anything.
Yeah, no, he doesn't do shit. Yeah.
She's in the house and she's like, oh shit, I don't breathe air. This is fine. And she just drags Danny outside because he's pretty much unconscious by the point. Or he's not entirely, but he's about to black out. And she drags him out of the front yard, and then Danny's mom and some paramedics showed up. And then I have here a summarized response that Danny's mom replies with when he is asking about Hannah. I don't know how accurate it is, but I just have in quotes, Hannah, she died 5 years ago.
Hannah, hardly know her.
And I'm sitting here like, I feel like I didn't make this up. This is something that happened here. Because we had to tie things up.
You did make this up.
Okay, gotcha.
However, the neighbor is the one that says it.
Oh, the neighbor.
It's not Danny's mom. Miss Quilty. Miss Quilty happens to be there.
Oh, just musing by, walking down the sidewalk.
Yep.
Like, is it time for me to exposition? Nope.
Sure is.
Miss Quilty would have been the perfect lady to have been revealed to be Hannah's old friend if more time had passed.
Yes. Yes,
That
it
would've
would have
been
been
fun.
amazing if this was Janie. Yes. God.
R.L. Stein, call me.
Call me RL.
We'll figure it out. We'll fix it.
We can punch it up.
We can punch it up. We can punch it up for you. Also, can we just talk about how the fact that like Danny's going to juvie because he's burned down someone's fucking house.
For real. And also, can we like the TV show did a much better job sort of like making this an accident, but
yes,
is there any like what the fuck were they doing?
No, they went into the house to burn it down. Is the only thing I can assume from this book. Yeah, with the intent of killing this man in a fire, they entered that home.
Didn't they say they were going to burn some stuff in the house and they accidentally started burning the house itself? Wasn't that what it was?
I mean, like, who does this?
I mean, the house is some stuff.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, what stuff were they going to burn?
Some stuff, we'll burn the kitchen, we'll burn the living room.
The floor, maybe? I don't know. Oh, it spread to the walls. Well,
some of it'll burn. Oops, should have got oops insurance.
Should have got oops insurance.
Well, the tail end of what I have here is just kind of a very brief summary of what happens, because at this point, Hannah's vision begins to fade, and she's effectively called off into the afterlife by her mother.
Yeah.
We don't hear about her brothers in the afterlife, though, so I'm worried.
They're in hell.
Yeah, I'm worried her brothers might actually be alive.
No, they're dead.
No, they all died. They confirmed
Stein
they all died.
Clearly
they're all dead.
wants you to feel relief that these kids are dead.
Those old babies are dead.
They canonically are dead. However, I do believe they are in hell.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, where their heartlesses might be, I don't know.
What if it was revealed that the ghost was actually the twins? They're just they're like demons.
Oh my god.
Fucking killer.
The twins were never real. It was just her memory getting twisted. She was always the only child.
All I'm going to say is that somewhere we can assume that, what would this be? This would be like Hrebsex and Libix, the nobodies of Bill and Herb, are in the world somewhere. Or
do you just have like a Nord calculator or Nordifier name generator or something right in front of
No, I'm just putting X's in their name
I'm
somewhere.
going to punch this up on the Nord calculator.
I'm just mentally mapping where X's should go on their name. And on that note, before we talk about the TV show, I'm going to take a bio break.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Let's go ahead and take a...
Or I'll die.
break.
Or I'll die.
But I just had it, and I'm still not over it. Still not fucking over it. It's fucking insane to me. Like, I don't know.
That long, though?
I don't know.
That sounded pretty fast. I mean, if you were allergic, I figured there would have been more immediate symptoms up in your face, maybe some swelling or something.
Yeah. Well, there was a little swelling.
Maybe do you think you caught something maybe a day before and it just incubated long enough?
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah.
Hi.
What up,
Hi.
Mario?
I just realized that my audacity's been going that whole time.
No, let it go. Let it go. Let it go.
Yeah.
Just
for syncing stuff.
Okay, then you probably got to hear me peeing on there.
No, that's what I wanted.
Please enjoy that. Enjoy that. Please do enjoy.
You could say that for like some Patreon stuff. I don't know.
Yeah. Pistreon. Absolutely, like going into that part and then loudening it.
I'm sure it was. I'm sure that you'll hear something.
Do you piss with the doors open or like what?
Well, I was just. Bob,
Just like
I live alone. There's no one. I don't have to
I
hide.
am only a man.
I don't have to hide my deeds. I don't have to hide my deeds from others.
Well,
My shame is for the world.
maybe when you're recording a podcast.
I didn't think about it.
Oh, I'm absolutely.
That's more of a you problem, buddy.
I was knee deep in the piss trough by the time I realized my
For real,
error.
Bob,
I said,
Bob, you
"Ugh."
don't know how desperate a situation it was. It was very touch and go there for a minute.
Oh my god!
I was just
you
like,
should've said something.
Gotta get out of here.
Gotta get out and get right.
Gotta get out. Gotta get going.
Gotta get right. Gotta get right.
Gotta piss a friend of mine.
Well, we'll just find out, won't we? What happened? And I mean, now, granted, this is the first one recording in this house, so there's more walls between the microphone and the toilet than there were.
I'll just say I didn't hear shit. I muted
I muted
It's
Discord.
not shit we're listening for, though.
I muted Discord. I didn't think about this.
Bob, you'll have to let us know what you find.
I
in the
will.
recordings.
I'll put it right here. But also, even if I don't find something, I will like grab audio of like someone pissing and put it in there.
Just bass boost it really loud over us talking.
Your piss droplets are going to fucking hammer onto that porcelain and cause an echo reverberation in people's bass systems. It's going to be fantastic. Oh man, my name's Mario and I love pissing. Woo! Nothing like a good piss. Piss. Peeing. I love urinating. I'm Mario and I fucking love to pee. Fucking love peeing, man. Damn. It's good stuff. Woo. Ooh. Nice. I should probably get back and change my voice a little bit. Alright. Mario, I love peeing.
There's a guy I used to work with. Thank God, used to. Whenever you go to the bathroom, and there's like, this is an office situation. Whenever you go to the bathroom, he'd always go,
oh my God, I hate that. I hate that.
The other thing is the guy would also sometimes fart when he did. So first time I'm in there washing my hands, the guy walks in, just goes, I'm just like,
The Sonic Symphony.
yeah.
Okay, a couple stories.
It's an oral playground.
Couple stories. One, I have a coworker who I'll be in the stall, and then they will either try to open my stall or sit in the next one. And immediately, the first thing that they will do is look at my shoes. And he knows me by my shoes. And then immediately he'll go like, Bob, is that you? Or I'll get a text that says, you pooping?
What the fuck?
And then we will have a full-blown conversation about life and everything. And he's a good guy. It is one of the weirdest fucking things.
Is it shit o'clock?
My
Just a
former
random
roommate.
Did you ever get a false positive text, like a text
Yes,
you just sit at your desk? It's like,
yes,
hey, Bob, you pooping?
Literally, yes. He sent me a message one time. It was like, you pooping? Uh-oh.
Like, no, I'm writing
This shit
an
is
email.
coming from inside the house.
He, for real. He like knocked on the stall and went, hey. And then he realized it wasn't me and left. He had to shit, but he just left.
Wow, there's a moral here. Like, maybe you shouldn't do that? I don't know.
Maybe.
Literally one day after my ex-roommate met a classmate of mine for the first time, they'd known each other for cumulatively like 17 hours. My classmate got a Snapchat from him of him taking a shit.
God,
And I mean from below.
Oh,
Like,
Jesus.
like-
Oh, no. Oh God.
Yeah.
Okay, so do we want to jump into the TV show?
Let's bang this out. Let's
bang it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all in all, like I have some notes here, but thing that stands out to me in terms of differences, Hannah's Music Academy Award for first place in the annual piano competition. When in the flashback of her in her room as it's on fire, thank God that did not succumb to any kind of fire damage. It's like one of the first things she checks out to make sure that it's still there when she wakes up from the dream.
One major change is that the piano thing is set up early, and there's also a scene where she plays the piano.
Yes,
like practices piano,
like a plot holding. What do you call that? A plot bearing device.
Yes, it's a plot bearing piano.
Also, Hannah types on her laptop. She doesn't write, and she hunts and pecks like a motherfucker.
Oh my God! Yeah, she's typing with just those index fingers.
Oh,
she's going at it.
She didn't get an award for her Guam.
Yeah, 3 words per minute.
It was it's awesome because she's like narrating her letter. But you're watching your hands and you're like not moving fast enough to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, it doesn't match up. It's very good.
It's awesome. This also would have aired in 98, so that's why she has a laptop now.
Also, the Bye Bye Man has been replaced on the TV show with the patron saint of Gaussian blur. It is very funny how he is shown. It is just a weird Gaussian blurred man in a trench coat.
Oh, and his Danny face is amazing.
Oh my God, that I posted that in the chat. I also posted it on Twitter. Holy shit. It's incredible. It's very, very good.
It's got some X-Files shit, yeah.
I love it. Also, I had a question for everybody. I thought 911 operators are trained to never hang up even if no one's there. Like, they'll only drop the call when they are hung up on, but even then they'll call back and send somebody. So just FYI for like 911 stuff. But
it also raises the question of how the phones even work in this house.
Man, I have so many questions.
Not to like nitpick it, but like it's kind of weird.
Yeah, ding.
Because unlike the book, the house is like actually burned out. Yeah. Like it is a burnt out piece of shit house that has not been rebuilt, and so it's weird that the phones even work at all.
Yeah. And also improvement from I think I mentioned this before, but improvement from the book. Hannah's family are not here; they are gone.
Yeah, they're at a baseball game. They're at a baseball game
the entire time.
The entire time.
It's a really long series.
Yeah, it's a long. Hey, listen, that 7th inning stretch was sorely needed. Let me tell you.
So what's happening here is Hannah has just woken up from her fire nightmare. She
her smoke nightmare. There's no fire in this episode.
There is fire later on, and it was actually shocking to see what they like. There was real fire that they.
But
they
in this first scene,
it's
a smoke filter on the screen.
Yes. But then something weird happens. Is not in the book. Someone is attacking her from outside. Someone throws like a rock through the window. It crashes in. And what does Hannah do? She immediately runs outside to where this person who is attacking her is. Runs outside into the middle of the street.
Hannah the survivalist here.
Her instincts are uncanny.
I'm covering my eyes and I don't know who you are.
So then she meets Danny, who is not a redhead, as he is in the books.
Oh no, so blonde.
The
blondest.
Also, I guess Danny's a roadie now because he's in all black.
Yeah.
Black,
can I also add
to toe?
Can I add? She mentions this in her email. She can't go to horse camp because of allergies.
No, fuck no. Oh.
Yeah, Janie is at horse camp.
Horse camp. Fuck.
Yeah.
Another difference, Danny immediately sucks. He is just a shithead.
Yeah, also not very good in this episode. But it's like, they're doing their best, but like
Yeah, immediately he's like, what are you afraid of? And she's like, there's someone out here who's harassing me, and he's like, oh, well, oh, you're dumb. Let's go and check your house out.
Yeah.
And so they do, and they don't find anything. So, and then Danny proceeds to jump scare Hannah, if I remember correctly, which was not cool. Thanks, Danny. Fuck you.
He kind of sucks. Kind of a shitty kid.
Yeah, he's a shitty kid. I also want to point out that the mailbox, there is a mailbox with Anderson written on it, written on a piece of printer paper and then taped to the mailbox, which is just fantastic set design. I love it.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So critically, Danny has literally just moved in this show. So it's actually less weird that Hannah might have missed him.
Yeah.
Like he has just moved in, so she wouldn't know him if he were in the same grade as her, although that doesn't actually come up in this. Nor would she maybe know his friends by that. Like, it's less weird were it to come up, but it doesn't. So
I think, generally speaking, the show, fixes some of the weird issues with the story. Not the big one, really, but the little things like that. They do, a good job of making them slightly more plausible. And also, tipping you off or tipping the viewer off a lot earlier.
Oh, yeah.
That things aren't as they seem by having her house is empty. There's no one else there. You never see her parents.
Yeah,
things that a kid would immediately pick up on.
Yeah. They put the twist at the end of the first episode, which
we were talking about that.
Yeah, I don't think we mentioned that for the book, but this is the first time a Goosebumps book hasn't held a twist back until the last fucking page of the book.
Yeah, the twist is literally the beginning of the climax of the book.
And it's great.
It works pretty well, actually.
It works well, yeah.
I think it works great.
It also lets them in the show have a little brief training sequence where the Shadow's teaching Hannah how to be a ghost, which is amazing, and I would have loved that as a kid.
I love that shit. I love it so much.
Well, it's also they had to put the cliffhanger there because there's no way they could have ended the episode anywhere else and had kids come back and watch the second one. Do you know what I mean? This being a two-parter, there was no choice but to make I'm the ghost be the cliffhanger, because otherwise what's it gonna be,
Yeah. Like Mr. Chesney suddenly
Mr. Chesney, which also, so here's a big change right out of the gate. Mr. Chesney is not a monster. He is an innocent in this world.
He's totally chill.
He might be a reckless driver.
Mr. Chesney, yes, reckless driver. Absolutely fuck Mr. Chesney for hitting Danny and not stopping to check if he was okay.
Yeah. Yeah, what the fuck?
Danny, this is another difference from the book, but Danny eats shit. At that scene, Danny is hit by a mail truck by Mr. Chesney, flies into a series of trash cans and trash bags, and just sprawls out in such a wonderful, pratfall way. But also another thing to mention, Danny is into magic, so he sucks even more than we thought.
The Gathering.
Yeah. And real quick audio aside, Mr. Chesney, I have in my notes, kicks ass because of the way he's humming to himself, which is very similar to how Mario hums when he pisses, which I believe, quote, rap-a-dap-a-dee-da, dap-dee-dap-da.
Actually, I'll just have you know that I do hum to myself when I'm doing certain things, but I only ever go
Yeah, I have
that's not a joke. That is a thing that I do.
I have heard him do this. Yes, I can confirm. Also, note to everybody. I have in my notes, LeMayo, even Danny's helmet and bike are jet black. This kid is nuts.
The kid kicks ass.
This kid is cool. Also, the faces that everyone makes, especially Mr. Chesney, when Danny gets nailed by the mail truck, are fantastic.
Yeah.
They're super good. Highly, I think I'll put them on the Twitter too. But yeah, also Danny apparently when he got slammed by the mail truck left a burn mark on the grass. Which I guess is supposed to be his shadow or something.
His ghost prints.
Ghost prints.
Ghost prints. It's so insane. It's fucking crazy.
I think that so Hannah walks Danny back to the house, and we learn that another convincing way the show tries to play with the idea of Danny being a ghost is that his house is overgrown.
Yes.
It doesn't look like it's been maintained because he just moved in. So there is a reason for that, but it is, also possible evidence to support his being dead. Although I don't know how your house is on the market and like isn't being maintained. But whatever.
Like you went over there, and I hope they gave you a nice discount on that when
yeah.
they didn't clean up the fucking spider webs in the oven, which we'll get to, I guess.
Yum yum.
Yum yum, delicious. Love spiders in my pizza. The ghost keeps saying Hannah, which is really annoying. I love Hannah screaming, "You're not real, you're a ghost!"
You're not real! You're a ghost! Hannah, what are you talking about? What's wrong?
She's wise to his tricks.
Can I just note, by the way, it's 1993, so the cost of housing, the median cost of a home in the United States was $126,000.
Oh my God.
Just put it out there. That's how much they probably spent for Danny's house.
Anyway, I'm not going to get mad about that.
Woohoo.
So yeah, a bunch of other shit happens. So we go back to Hannah's house, who is typing on her computer, which I have a note here. Her computer gets 2 frames a second, which kicks ass. I also have in my notes, there is a scene where Hannah goes into into Danny's house, and her mom is clearly doing sign language, but the way the shadow is casting on the wall, it looks like she's just doing really shitty shadow puppetry.
Yeah, let's take a quick second here, actually, while we talk about... So I do think it's actually better that... so actually, this is ahead of ourselves with Danny's mom, but we didn't talk about this. A non-negative portrayal of a person with deafness in this book, which is a huge turnaround for R.L. Stine. At some point, he healed. This is a book of healing, and his hatred for the deaf was abandoned, instead traded for a burgeoning respect for them.
As far as we know.
Well, in the show, I think it's better generally than the book, where in the book it's sort of played as, well, it was it could be that Danny is lying. We don't actually see the mom doing sign language in the book.
Also, the mom does treat it as kind of a shameful secret, I guess.
Yes. Whereas in the show, it's much better.
It's just like normal. This is normal, and Danny knows sign language and like signs to his mom. Yeah. Great stuff. Loved it.
Yeah,
loved that. Love that.
And Hannah goes like, "That's actually cool. I want to learn how to do sign language." Which fucking same. I want to learn how to do sign language.
Well, you would say that after you accuse someone's mom of being a ghost in her own home.
Okay, fine.
She does seem like she's honest, though. She does. It is portrayed like she actually does want to.
And so what actually happens first is that Hannah goes into Danny's basement, where she's immediately trapped and menaced by an evil rocking chair.
Yes.
And then the ghost comes out and is like, Hannah. Doing his best Tony Todd and Candyman. His best ain't good enough, I'll put it that way, compared to Tony Todd. But then that's when she comes out and calls Danny a ghost, which is insane because Danny wasn't even in the basement. Yeah. Like Danny was outside the house. Like, what are you doing, you crazy? What's wrong with you?
It's unhinged.
Just imagine bursting out of a room and then just turn to the nearest person going, "You're not real, you're a ghost."
I'm going to do that to a stranger. Can we talk about Hannah's home decor really quickly? I.e. her picture of jelly beans.
I did notice that.
There is a poster of jelly beans.
Just incredible. A big old jelly bean picture hanging on the wall. Which, I mean,
high tier.
That's excellent. She uses the internet to Google about like the stuff that happens in her neighborhood. Like she finds,
but somehow
doesn't read the address.
Yeah, but somehow misses the fact that it's her fucking house that burned down.
Yep. Listen, she's smart. She's got initiative, but she doesn't have the wits to use it.
Also, I wanted to just quickly point out that Hannah's a ghost who has a ghost computer that prints. And that's connected to a ghost printer.
Ghost internet.
Prints ghost paper. That then can be given to Danny, who can then read it.
Yeah, so let's ponder this. In the rules of this world, not only does the phone work to call 911, but also Hannah's ghost house has internet.
Yes, ghost internet.
To use in her ghost laptop, which does have a ghost printer, which has ghost ink and ghost paper. Yes.
Yes.
It must be so.
What are the rules? What are the rules? What are the rules?
Maybe it's running off of phantom power.
Fuck.
Geop,
Geop lurking in wait.
Geop, you just jump scared everybody with a pun. Jump pun scare. So that leads us to Danny revealing. Basically, we get to the she prints it out. It's like, oh look, this. I thought your house was the one that burned down, and Danny's like, no, you fucking idiot. Look at the address. You
well, so
fucking
she
moron.
goes over to his house, right?
Yes,
which is also where she accuses the mom of being a ghost, which makes a little more sense if the mom's like ignoring her in the same room. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Although it doesn't make sense because of the ghost rules, but whatever. But also their house is like, because they just moved in and have new electricity, it's covered in candelabras.
Yes.
Like, which is great.
1 billion candles.
But also, there's a gargoyle in the house. Like, they just have a gargoyle sitting on their kitchen counter for some reason. Like a full-size...
And it's in shot a lot.
Yeah, a lot. In a lot of frames is this gargoyle, which is wild. I admire their decor. I admire it. The commitment. But yes, then Danny's like, hey, idiot, read the article. Like, you're dead, moron. Like,
and my favorite part of this first episode is Hannah. Here, okay. Hannah, upon learning her house burned down, her family died, and that she's a ghost. No!
She sounds so annoyed. Like, oh, come on.
Oh, no way.
I'm a ghost man. Come on.
Sucks. No.
It sucks.
God.
Sucks.
Oh, you can't. Oh, this blows.
I fucking hate this. I'm a ghost god. Mom.
I'm a ghost.
Fuck.
God.
Shut up, Mom. I'm a ghost.
Beans.
No, you shut the fuck up, ghost mom.
You shut the fuck up. I'm not a ghost.
I guess I don't have to do homework anymore.
Whoa, that's cool. Oh, but my laptop's not real. No.
Aw, fiddlesticks.
I just bought ink for the printer, which is not real.
No.
I guess.
Also, at the beginning of... so we're on to the next episode, which has Hannah saying, this isn't happening. It's not true. I did not hit her. I swear I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
Also, the show smartly never shows Hannah's house until the part where they reveal she's dead.
Yes.
So then they can show that her house actually looks like even more dog shit than Danny's house does. Which, by the way, this neighborhood, lot of bad houses, huh? Like,
yeah.
Property values quite low.
So then we get to probably the coolest difference, which is just kick-ass, which Brandon already talked about. The Bye-Bye Man, patron saint of Gaussian, I keep saying it wrong.
Shadow the Hedgehog, yeah.
Yeah, Shadow the Hedgehog, reveals himself to be a ghost. And Hannah's like, so you're a ghost? And the ghost is like, yeah, I'm a fucking ghost. It's cool, and we can do ghost shit. You want me to teach you some stuff? Also, before we get too far, I just wanted to say that there is a line from the ghost man who says, I didn't mean to scare you, which... yeah, is by
untrue.
Saying Hannah over and over in the creepiest way possible. Yeah, okay. Sure.
This is just how ghosts talk.
This is how we do everything. Also, hilarious here because the ghost sets up... he's hoisted by his own petard here because he teaches Hannah how to move objects so she can torment Chesney for no reason.
Yes.
In a very goofy scene. Funny, goofy times. And so she now knows how to move objects, which we will learn is how she saves the day ultimately. Also, enter the worst fucking characters in Goosebumps history, Fred and Alan, or whatever his name is. God, they suck in this. They're so bad.
They say, at one point, they say they're the coolest guys in town.
Okay, we decided to give you one more chance to prove yourself worthy of hanging out with us. The coolest guys in town.
Yeah, they say it like fucking Lenny and Squiggy. like
I call them...
we're the coolest guys in town.
I call them the no grease greasers.
One of them, Fred, is acting like Tim Heidecker doing a cool kid character.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm the coolest guy in town.
Fucking weird, man. Anyway, flashing forward.
Flashback. That happens about 6 times this episode.
Oh, did you catch the flashback to when Danny got creamed by the fucking the mail van?
Mailman, yep.
But it was from a different angle, and you can get a way better picture of Danny's stuntman. If you haven't seen that, go back and watch it. It's very funny. It is clearly just a man just laying against the trash cans, and clearly not.
What a large child.
A very large child. Does that child have stubble? Anyway.
You could get away with bloody murder back in the day with standard def TV.
We review the footage, and somehow it's Geop.
Yeah.
He's on the bike.
My God.
You found my secret.
So yeah, my memory's a little fuzzy on this, but I think that at a certain point we go back to Hannah's place because Danny and his friends are basically trying to get Danny to prove that Hannah's real.
So his friends don't believe him,
right?
And Danny, to prove it, is like going to get Hannah to show them that she's real. So he goes into the house to apologize to her and ask her for a favor. But while there, the ghost man, Shadow the Hedgehog, just full on throws a fucking plank of wood at Danny's head. Like not content to just let Danny die naturally, he's going to fucking murder this child. To which he is saved by Hannah. And then, in a very funny, silly moment, the ghost just like falls through a floorboard.
Yeah, it's a ghost, but somehow it just fell straight through the floor.
He has weight and matter and falls through the floor like an idiot.
Affected by gravity ghost, yes. Okay.
And
I think it was revealed shortly before this, or a little bit before this, that that Shadow the Hedgehog is actually a ghost, or Danny's ghost, just like the book.
I don't know if when it's revealed, like around this time.
I think it's revealed before this because Hannah confronts the ghost and says, like, "Wait, why did you try to kill Danny?
It's right now. Yeah,
if he's going to die anyway, then why are you trying to kill him?" So this is also, just like the book, Hannah's having some weird feelings about when Danny's in danger.
Yeah.
And so this leads her to believe at a certain point, just like the book, that she's there to save Danny.
Yeah.
That she's been brought back to so that she can prevent Danny's death.
Meanwhile, Danny, Fred, and whatever his name is have decided that they're going to kick him out of the Cool Kids Club. Going to kick you out of the Cool Kids in Town Club if you don't because there's been 2 strikes already, and they decide to give him one more chance. Yes, guys, because that's how baseball rules work.
Mm-hmm.
There's 3 strikes, so you have to have a third one. You fucking dinguses.
We had to talk about it and decide whether or not you got a 3rd strike.
So the first strike was getting hit by a mail truck.
Yes.
Decidedly uncool behavior.
Not very cool.
Second strike, making up a ghost and not being able to prove that it's real. And then now they're like, you gotta go play a prank on Chesney, cause he tried to run you over, remember? And then they go, and the plan is to put a stink bomb in Chesney's home.
Yes.
Which is, it's better than killing him,
yeah.
I guess.
Here's the thing about that, though. I'm not a stink bomb expert, but aren't they usually like vials that are filled with like a smelly liquid that you throw it, and then when it oxidizes, it like really like reeks? I did find one stink bomb that you lit, but it was literally just sparklers and cat hair. So I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
I am interested in learning more about that. If y'all are stink bomb experts out there, if y'all are stinky folks, hit me up. I am interested.
I was a goody 2 shoes. I've never even seen one.
Oh.
I've heard of them. I think what that might be, the depiction of it might be like their memory of a cherry bomb.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, it looks like one. Yeah, so Danny goes there, lights the stink bomb, or attempts to, but in so doing, like, knocks over a lamp or whatever. Yep. Chesney comes down and is like, tries to find if anyone's in his house, but Danny's hiding, so he thinks his cat did it. But the errant match, which Danny has dropped, waited for the perfect time to light itself.
Yes.
And as soon as Chesney leaves the room, ignites, and then also ignites the whole fucking room. Good news, Chesney gets out immediately, but, oh no, Danny's stuck in the closet because the door is stuck. and then the rest ensues almost as you would imagine. Hannah shows up. Oh, but she plays the piano to get everyone's attention because she can't move Danny.
Mm-hmm.
She can't move Danny, but she can play the piano because Shadow the Hedgehog taught her how to use objects. What a fool.
You played yourself.
You played yourself. And then as she played the piano, he played himself. And then people come rescue Danny, and then the family is seen for the first time ever as Hannah goes off to heaven or whatever, presumably.
Mm-hmm.
And Danny goes off to jail forever for being a fucking murderer. Attempted.
And then we are sung out by the worst Goosebumps remix of all time. Did you all listen to that?
I did not.
No.
It was fucking awful.
What?
Listen to the ending of the link that you posted, Mario, for those 2 episodes, for the last episode in particular. The one that plays at the very end for the credits. I guess it's just like season 4's ending of Goosebumps. It's bad.
I'm clicking the link.
It is very bad. Just has like random sound effects in it and shit. It's awful.
This is going to be like the ending of Gears of War. Coltrane's going to come in and start singing, "Hey kids, do you remember Gears of War? It was a video game franchise. The video game franchise. You might have played it. Or maybe you didn't, blessedly. You lose. Oh, yeah, okay. Can we talk about the fact that there's some kind of like 24-hour rule for ghost possession? Like, after like she gets Danny out, she's like, "It's midnight. You lose," to Shadow the Hedgehog.
Yeah,
like as if that's been established at all. That like she only had until midnight for Danny to die.
Well, the ghost did say, Danny will be dead by midnight tonight. But yeah, you're right, because like, what's to say that the ghost can't just try like in like 5 minutes? Like,
oh, this is like they put the spooky soundtrack CD over the Goosebumps.
Yeah,
credits.
it's fucking awful.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it's just like spooky sounds.
It's so bad.
I like how there's a couple of times in the episode where like the ghost fails to do something by a maybe not that established time limit, and it just like takes a sec to process it and go like, "Is that how it works?" And then goes,
"Are we sure?"
No, and then
are we
fades
sure
away.
That's right? I don't know.
It's like checking. Oh, you're right. Fuck!
Oh shit!
Delayed reaction exorcism. Wait, am I? Oh fuck!
That's not how. Wait. Ah! It's got cartoon energy.
It's like, yeah, exactly like when a cartoon character runs off a cliff and keeps like moving their legs and then looks down and then looks at the camera.
Yes.
Absolutely. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and just go around the horn and just how do we feel about?
Give it a review.
Let's just talk about our feelings. Hey, Geop.
Come.
There. That's the boy we all know and love.
Hello.
So how did you come to your opinions on this wonderful book?
Well, I'd never read Goosebumps before. I'm content to say this would be my last.
I see.
I hope that doesn't, no slings or barbs or anything. But, well, 'tis what it is.
Agree.
I had a mental picture in my head the whole time, and it made me think of almost like a made-for-TV movie on Hallmark with really bad quality. And I don't know why my brain went to that, but it was just very much like a vibe and the writing and stuff, and it's just nothing clicked with me, But I don't read much fiction at all, so
okay.
Like I said, I kind of dodged these entirely when I was a kiddo, so at least I got to see what presumably the saddest one, supposedly.
Yeah. You experienced the saddest one.
Yeah, the saddest one, and I guess I'll just dive right into my review. The best one. I think that this is a 10 out of 10 Goosebumps book. Goosebumps. My ranking so far is Say Cheese and Die and Let's Get Invisible are tied for second and third place. And first place is Ghost Next Door. This is really good. There were so many things. There were some annoying things, but those come with the territory with like not only kids books but Goosebumps books. There are some trappings.
I think that's true.
That you just can't escape. Like main character being 12 years old.
You're operating in a certain wheelhouse. Yeah,
main character being 12 years old and having incredibly shitty family and or siblings. Yeah, and some of the like little annoying things like the ghost and stuff. But on the whole, I really liked what the Ghost Next Door was doing and where it was going.
Yeah,
and I love having the twist earlier so that it has more time to play out and there can be ramifications. And I really like the ending because it's somber. It's like it's not goofy wacky time. It's not like it's saying something and it's saying it in a interesting and effective way, and I think that's really really cool for kids. I think this is also one of those books that you can give to a kid where it's like, oh, baby's first Sixth Sense, where it's like, oh, this has so many implications. If I read the book again, I could see all of the times where it was hinted that she was a ghost, and that's why the dogs were barking at her, and that's why the people weren't talking to her and ignoring her. I think that really is cool for kids, and just like that makes sense. I just really liked it. It was really good. Hey, Brandon.
Yes.
What did you think?
I agree with you in that I think this is kind of the ideal Goosebumps. It's the sort of thing that I was looking for as a kid, I'm sure, when I picked these books up and sometimes got. It feels like he tried way harder on this compared to the immediately previous book, which feels almost like it was written by a different person. The hallmarks are there. I don't think that's the truth. I think that maybe he just tried harder on this one or cared more about it, or maybe with Camp Nightmare he was just writing it and he's like, I fucking hate this book, I want this to be over, and okay, fine, it's all fake, okay, it's all fake, they're on Mars, take that, okay, book over. And in this one it seems like he actually was writing to a point. He set some stuff up. It feels like he went back and changed some things to make it more internally consistent after. Just it feels like they did the work, and I think that this is a tier Goosebumps book. I've only read 2 in the last 30 years, but easily the best one that I've read in a long time.
Yeah. All right, and now we have Mario's patented review. Mario.
That's correct. It is now time to do the review that is patented.
Let us go through your process.
Let us begin the process. Step 1. Scariness. I think this book is haunting. I think this book is like emotionally very scary.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
I think it's like affecting. I think it's an affecting book.
Absolutely. It has implications. And it's funny because in the ways that it would be a scary, like Scholastic coming in and being like, this game, this book needs to be scarier, or add a fucking ghost in it.
Yeah.
But it's not scary in that because that's stupid fucking ghost shit. It's scary because of the implications and what what the ending. Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah.
In the same way that I have never forgotten Garfield imagining John Arbuckle, right?
Yeah.
I have never forgotten that because it really fucked me up. If I had, I don't know if I read this one at the time. I truly don't remember. But if I had, I think I would have remembered it for this reason. I think that like the implications of like the loneliness and the lack of like her family not being there, I think it really would have hit me as a very like chilling revelation. I also think that Shadow the Hedgehog is a fairly effectively spooky image. So I'm gonna say it's like a 10 out of 10 scariness. This is like a 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Relatability, aka the kids zone. Again, I think this is a 10 out of 10. Like, I think this is, like, again, highly relatable content. Like, and I mean, it goes for the same reason that it is emotionally affecting or scary. Like, I think that, like, these are fears that you can just have as a kid, Like, I also think that, like, the lonely summer vibes of this book are quite strong and relatable. Because, like, as a kid, I definitely, like... I mean, like, don't get me wrong, I didn't like school, but when summer came around, it was like, oh, I'm not going to see people all the time. I'm going to be, like, sitting around doing nothing a lot. And it's like, yeah, I feel that. highly relatable. And then R.L. Steininess. Well, the thing is,
I don't know.
I don't know how Steiny it is. I don't know. This is
It's not very Steiny.
I'm gonna say this is like
you've got some bullshit scares. You've got some bullshit cliffhangers.
But very few though.
Yeah, he fucks around with the dream shit. Like the one where she fell asleep against the trunk of the tree was pretty fucking bullshit.
Yeah, pretty bad.
But that was like the only one, really.
Yeah, I feel like it's like maybe a 3 on that scale.
That makes sense.
Maybe. However, that could be a good or bad scale. I consider this book excellent. I consider this book to be possibly the best one that we've read.
Mm-hmm.
Easily in my top 3 of them. I would say that's no question. So there you go.
There you go.
That's my feelings on it. It's good. If you're gonna read a Goosebump book, you might as well read this one.
Yeah.
That's what I feel.
Agree.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, thank you everybody for listening. And just FYI, we do have a Patreon. If you want to throw some bucks at us, that would be great. You don't have to. Don't feel obligated to. Just, if you feel like it, if you enjoyed listening to us talk about Goosebumps, it's nice because, we do pay for hosting and spreading the podcast on various platforms. So, and stuff like that. And, we got bills to pay and stuff. So if you'd be nice enough to do that, that'd be cool. Don't have to though. Don't feel obligated. But yes. And if you want to, drop us a note on Twitter. We are twitter.com/YCSM pod. I am at BobVids. Mario, what's your handle?
At Tomato Grandpa.
Brandon, what's your handle?
I don't know. It's at a Chains of Pants. Okay.
It's a change of pants.
I thought you were going to do a joke about you being a ghost or something. I don't know because
man,
I'm dead.
I won't ask you to edit that in, but I would have said something like, I don't know if I'm even alive. Are you all ghosts?
I didn't want to tell you.
No, wait. You are all ghosts.
Tell you.
I knew it.
I no longer know what's happening. I'm a ghost.
I've been dead for a while. Time, for real though, time is like time keeps on slipping into the future.
In the future,
for me at least. Hey, Geop. What's your handle on Twitter?
Oh, I think it's gone off the rail. That's my handle on it. I'm Mr. Geop. MRGEOP. Finger guns.
God damn you.
And what's your Twitch, Geop, by the way?
Oh, it's just Geop. GEOP.
Holy fuck. That's nice.
Plug away.
Concise.
Hell yeah. Had to haggle for that one.
Oh shit. Cool. Yeah, when do you stream, Geop?
Oh god. Friday morning, Saturday morning, Sunday afternoon is the housing Zillow stuff, and Tuesday evenings. But sometimes work comes in the way, but most of the time, yeah, get those 4 days in.
Cool. And we're cool with barging in at any time and talking about Goosebumps books, right? Just absolutely wrecking house.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Sure. I'll tell my mods to fire on site. I mean, what?
We got to talk about Real Estate Stein.
Real Estate Stein.
I don't know. I think I'm having a stroke. Anyway.
The modern housing market's the real monster.
Hey. All right. Our website is youcan'tscare.me. YCSMpod.com is also the URL. Thank you to everybody who's listening. And now is when we talk about predicting the twist. And Mario, can you go ahead and make my fucking day by telling me what motherfucking Goosebumps episode we are covering next time?
It's the Haunted Mask.
Woo!
What's up?
Fuck
What's up?
Yeah. Hell yeah. I am fucking ready, dude. This, for anyone who doesn't know, Haunted Mask is like
this is the Goosebumps
Goosebumps book. Like we've had some earlier, I would say that probably Stay Out of the Basement, Welcome to Dead House, Say Cheese and Die are pretty high up there. Night of the Living Dummy, obviously, because that's where you have Slappy. Slappy sucks, man. I could take him or leave him.
Whoa.
Hot fucking take.
Big takes.
That's harsh, man.
But Haunted Mask affected me. Haunted Mask, I still remember it, which is why
I vividly remember it.
I am not going to predict the twist.
Is there even a twist in this book?
No, not really. This is, if I remember correctly, Well, I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil it.
Actually, here this. Okay, look, I'll just say this. The cover of the book is a child in overalls holding a very scary green mask that's drooling. The tagline is, "If looks could kill." What is the twist? Geop. What's the twist of Haunted Mask? Predict it. You must. As the only
predict it.
As the only one who is virginal to the ways of Goosebumps, you must predict it,
man.
Could I get a pitch of that again? I'm sorry, my brain's kind of melting. I'm kind of far into a few calls at this point, so my mind is wavering.
I am okay. The book, The Haunted Mask. It's on the cover. Mm-hmm. On this cover that I'm posting in the chat right now is a girl in overalls holding a spooky mask. The tagline is "If looks could kill." As the only one of us who has not read The Haunted Mask, you have to predict the twist of this book. What is R.L. Stein gonna do?
Is it the mask isn't haunted at all, and she's just really weird?
That's a good one.
She's just real weird. Okay,
that's the only direction I could take it out of this context, because it's like, well,
I do think that's fair.
It's like it's not going to be the mask is an actual evil being, right? That's too obvious. There needs to be a curveball. So the only one I can think of is maybe the mask is fake and it's all in your head.
Maybe there is no mask. Maybe the real mask is inside of you the whole time.
Smoking.
Oh yeah, there it is. There you go. The twist is that
Jim Carrey's The Mask is in this.
The twist is that you're Jim Carrey, but from Sonic, not from The Mask.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Sonic's friend Jim Carrey.
Sonic's enemy Jim Carrey.
Sonic's lover Jim Carrey.
Who can forget the famous scene where Jim Carrey looks at Sonic and says, "I am no longer your friend, I am your enemy. I am no longer your lover.
I am no longer bound by the rules of decency."
And Sonic just says, "Come."
Come.
Gotta come fast.
Splat you later.